to deliver coordinated, patient-centered care. By streamlining services, we aim to enhance communication among providers, improve continuity of care, and offer an elevated experience for our patients. SOMC or Conference champion Fairland Dragons. 30-27 was the final score of that one. Coach Kirk Clifford and Matt Payton were at both of those games last week, as was I. Coach Clifford, let's begin with you. First of all, let's talk a little bit about the Trojans game last Thursday. Obviously, they didn't get the result that they were hoping for, but it should be pointed out, Coach Bruce Cobb's kids did give it a great effort, but this is a team that lost 14 seniors off of last year's ball club, that only lost 3 games and went 2 rounds deep into the playoffs. And among those 14 seniors lost included running back Chase Highland as well as quarterback J.T. Williams. So they had a lot of young kids in new positions and a lot of new personnel on the field. They had to go up against a juggernaut in a very good Unioto ball club. But what were some of the positives you think that they took away from that game?
Gosh, I don't know. If I would have to say something, it would probably be to realize that maybe we may not be as good as we talk. When you replace the things that they had to replace, a great running back. And when you do that, plus you lose 2 or 3 of your big cogs up front, and you change your offensive philosophy around, there's going to be some big-time growing pains with this group. And they just need to understand and realize, and hopefully they did this week in practice, that we just can't go out and go through the motions and expect to pick up where we left off last year, because every year is a new year.
Coach, you were the head coach at Portsmouth for so many years, and you are familiar with opening up the season with a Thursday night game. That extra day of practice, is that beneficial in preparation for week number 2?
Well, I like the Thursday night opening, but simply because you're sick to death. You can ask Matt this one. You're sick to death of practicing.
Right.
Get a scrimmage game in there. That's throwing them a bone once in a while. But yeah, I think the advantage lies with Portsmouth. It's not from a standpoint of sitting down and strategizing and getting on the board or anything like that, but just from letting your body rest that extra day. Because once that first game starts, it's a drag. It's a drag. I mean, it drags the energy and the strength right out of you. So I think that happens. I think it's a good thing to get that extra day.
In watching that game between Portsmouth and Unioto last week, Portsmouth skill kids, I think there's some potential there, but they just could not get anywhere near open field, and sometimes not back to the line of scrimmage because of that good Unioto defense. But Fernando Pocius, Jamarcus Parker, quarterback Marquez Locklear, Dontavian Parker, look for some good things from them. Cameron Williams, Caleb Johnson, Fernando Pocius, Kason Myers, D. Parker, they all caught passes in last week's 42-0 loss to the Shermans. Matt,
but the one thing about that, though, if you think back to that ball game, every time Portsmouth caught a pass, how many yards after contact did they get? That would be 0.
Yeah, right.
They caught the pass, and they were tackled immediately. That tells you 2 things. Either, number one, Unioto has them scouted so well they know exactly what they're doing, which is really hard to do in the summer. Or number 2, your receivers aren't finding a dead area in that zone, because that's all they play.
And a lot of the receptions last week for Portsmouth were swing passes that were caught about 5 yards deep in the backfield, yes. And they were lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage in many instances. And that's essentially an extended handoff, but you always hate as a fan to see a completed pass for negative yardage. But when you go up against a good defense, it can happen. Matt, let's bring you in to talk about the Senators. We had the call of that game last Friday with West holding on for a 30-27 win over the Fairland Dragons here at the Rock. What a thriller that was. It looked like at halftime West had things all under control. They had a 17-point lead, but then Fairland reeled off 2 touchdowns in the first 3.5 minutes of the second half, and it was game on from there on out. But boy, the skill kids for West and the defensive unit at times really made some big plays, I thought.
They really did. And what I really enjoyed watching West last week, I really enjoyed their play calling. I thought they did a great job of setting up plays. Like you saw some bubble screens early that then eventually led to a wheel route. They faked it and got a big wheel route out of it. They set up a couple reverses, and guess what? Right before halftime, they did a double reverse flea flicker, set up for a touchdown.
Yep.
So I was really interested. And actually, what's funny, I talked to their offensive coordinator, and I was like, I was intrigued by your play calling, and I thought he did a really good job. I think the big thing they thought of last week was after they left that game was they kind of had a sour taste in their mouth, because I think that at halftime they thought, we have these guys, it's over. But guess what? Fairland had other ideas for it, and I think that's something this team's still gonna have to learn. I think that was something that Coach Gillen and company preach to this group is you can be good, but don't get overconfident and don't look past anybody, and you got to play 4 full quarters. You can't just, well, we're up 23-something at halftime. No, you got to play 4 quarters and come out ready to play at half.
You know, Matt, the thing that impressed me last week, besides the X's and O's and all the schemes and everything, was when I thought back to that ball game after it was over, and then when I got home and kind of decompressed, was West never quit on one play.
Yeah, never.
If you were 50 yards ahead, somebody was sprinting from behind and was ready to sell their soul to get to you to keep you from scoring. It was just their overall effort. But you're right about their offense. Hey, Irwin does a nice job with them, but boy, their effort was.
And talking about offensive coordinators, Coach, that's a new coordinator at Portsmouth. I just found out. I didn't realize that until after the game last week. That's a huge difference when you have to replace somebody who's been a coordinator for that long. I mean, you know personally how hard that is to replace a coordinator who's been there for multiple. I mean, what? How many years was Aaron there?
Gosh, Aaron's been there a long time.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a big change. I think we'll see maybe some throwback to some new stuff or some older stuff.
Anthony Bishop ran for $158 last week and a couple touchdowns. Braden Atkins had over 100 yards receiving, caught a couple scores, and had an interception. And Brody Hall, for those of you who think he is simply a game manager, think again. He played very well last week. He completed 9 of 13 passes for 211 yards and 3 touchdowns. And in the second half, they also had some design runs for him. Hall rushed 3 times for 25 yards. Let's take a look at the Counseling Center's keys to success. For 45 years, the Counseling Center has established itself as the region's leader in behavioral health care, providing everything from substance abuse disorder treatment to mental health counseling, primary care, youth therapy, vocational development, and even job placement services. The Counseling Center employs over 600 people, caring employees who believe that every human deserves help. We all know someone. The people at the Counseling Center want to help them, and since 1980, that's exactly what they've done. Learn more online at thecounselingcenter.org. Phone 740-354-6685. Guys, I'm going to take this one, and I truly feel that the key tonight is controlling the line of scrimmage. That is a cliche, but you look at the offensive line, very useful for Portsmouth. They will start a freshman at center, Alex Martinez. I know Coach Cobb told me during the Saturday Morning Sports Line last weekend that he was beating himself up over some high snaps early on in last week's game. I'm sure he's worked hard on that to prepare for tonight, so we certainly wish him well. Junior Nick Donnelly, they've got Charles Fletcher, Wesley Runyon, and Jonathan Carter. Now, that trio, the last 3 are all seniors, but that offensive line, if Portsmouth's going to have any success with those skill guys we talked about earlier, that group has to step up. And the same can be said for the West Senators. They've got Leif Potters, Carson Carver, Max Newsom, Eli Myers, and Ben Sparks. If the Senators are going to be able to get Bishop going and allow Hall to find receivers, they've got to have time, they've got to have running lanes, and those are the guys that are going to have to supply it. Those are your Counseling Center's keys to success. Let's take our first time out. When we return, we will hear from the head coach of the visiting Portsmouth Trojans, Bruce Cobb. This is the SOMC Sports Motion pregame show on Mix 99.3.
High school football on this Total Media Group station is presented by Portsmouth Block and Portsmouth Building Supply, People's Bank, the Real Estate Gallery, Conley Trucking and Conley River Terminal, the Scioto County Career Technical Center, Carpenters Local Union 437, the Glockner Family of Dealerships, Gamps John Deere and Convenience Store, SOMC, Portsmouth Insurance, Monroe's Frame and Collision, the McKinley Funeral Home, as well as Collier Companies. Don't spend thousands of dollars on marketing that doesn't work. Appalachian Marketing Media can grow your business with targeted marketing strategies, tactics, and resources that actually do work. Appalachian Marketing Media sells market-friendly websites that are designed to convert traffic into clients. Appalachian Marketing Media provides superior customer service and will quickly respond to any of your website needs. With packages starting at $2,000, contact Appalachian Marketing Media on Facebook and learn more on their website.
Why does a church exist? This is Pastor Ryan Brown for the Calvary Baptist Church, and I'd like to reveal to you that our church exists to bring people to Jesus Christ, to tell them of a Savior who loves them and gave his life for them on the cross at Calvary, conquered death, rose up from the grave, and made salvation possible for every person. If you have questions about this person named Jesus Christ, come see us. Visit becausefcalvary.com and be our guest at Calvary Baptist Church.
Monroe's Frame and Collision and now Wheel Alignment knows that good luck on the field can sometimes turn into bad luck in the parking lot. Well, if that happens to you, just know that Monroe's Frame and Collision is there from big bangs to little dings and have been doing it for 30 years. Monroe's commitment to you, the customer, is evident when you speak with any one of the Monroe's technicians or staff. Monroe's makes you feel as comfortable as possible and are always readily available and happy to answer any of all questions and your inquiries. Monroe's Frame Collision and now Wheel Alignment.
Why is Southern Ohio Medical Center Urology Associates the perfect choice for you? It starts with the expert care of board-certified urologist Dr. Stephen Willems, followed by a variety of procedures offered right in the office, which means no hospital stay and a quicker recovery. Along with general urology care, SOMC Urology Associates also offers the latest in advanced treatments for enlarged prostate, including urolift and aquablation. Board-certified expertise and the latest procedures in prostate care. SOMC Urology Associates is the perfect choice. Call us at 740-356-464.
Tonight, the Portsmouth Trojans will face off against their rivals from West Portsmouth. It is a big rivalry game tonight for both of these two ball clubs. You're tuned into the SOMC Sports Motion pregame show on Mix 99.3. I'm Chuck Greenslate, along with Matt Payton and Coach Kirk Clifford. And joining us now is the head coach of the Portsmouth Trojans, Bruce Cobb. Coach, how are you doing today?
Oh, not too bad. How about you, Chuck?
Fantastic, Coach, fantastic. I know that you and your Trojans have to be really excited to take the field tonight here at the Rock and face off against the Senators. This has been a great rivalry matchup for many years. You actually said this a couple years ago. Anytime you take on a school that has your own name in it, you know it's got to be big, right?
Oh, yeah, it's a backyard brawl year in and year out. You know, we couldn't be more grateful for such a beautiful evening of football. You know, it chilled down a little bit in the evenings, and it's just, you know, it's got that sense of fall football weather, and I'm excited to get out there and see what these kids can do after a week off.
And, Coach, you've actually had a full 8 days off prior to tonight's game. You kicked off your season a week ago Thursday, didn't get the outcome that you were hoping for against a very good Unioto ball club, but having that extra day to prepare and then having a rivalry to prepare for, what has the vibe been like in practice this past week?
Well, you know, we went in last week against a very strong, tough Unioto team, as you mentioned. And, you know, I think in our area, a lot of people don't know who Unioto is and what kind of ball they play. And, you know, I think even amongst our kids a little bit, they thought, oh, it's Unioto. Who's that? You know, we knew as a staff we were going to be in for a tough fight. And, you know, like you said, it didn't end up the way we wanted. But, you know, great thing about taking one early is it really helps you work on those flaws that need to be fixed. Now, you know, after watching the film, and, you know, I mentioned this on Saturday morning when we spoke on the radio show, nothing we saw was unfixable. You know, and so having that extra day to go to work and point those things out to the kids and be able to talk together as a staff and say, okay, these are the problems that we face and how are we going to fix them was monumental to have that extra day. You know, allowed us to get the film to the kids on Fridays and go over it with them. Allowed us to take the weekend to send out corrections and the game plan for opponent ahead. It also gave us a chance to go watch our next opponent live, which is something you typically don't get to do in season. So, you know, it's been a good week of practice. We know it's going to be a tall task ahead of us this week after the, you know, what we saw on film last week and then what we saw in person with the Portsmouth West Senators. But you know what? I love our chances, and I can't wait to get out there and see how much our kids have improved since last week.
Coach, let's talk about some of the keys to a Trojan victory tonight. What must your ball club do?
Well, you know, we got to eliminate those self-inflicted injuries. You know, we got to make sure that we're taking care of the things we can take care of first and foremost. You know, we got to eliminate those penalties. We've got to eliminate those minutia errors that start to add up, especially when you're playing a good ball team. You know, so that was our first task at hand this week is we got to play mistake-free or near mistake-free football. Still early in the season, still a lot of things working out, you know, but our kids know how to play disciplined, mistake-free football. We see it daily in practice, so we got to make sure we perform that way tonight. So that's our first key for tonight. We hope for a Trojan victory. We got to make sure that we're reading our keys on defense, because what West brings to the table offensively, they bring very, very solid running attack with the Bishop kid. They got a very, very capable passer in the backfield, and then we got some receivers that, as we saw against Fairland last week, that are more than capable of making plays. So we got to be where we're supposed to be when we're supposed to be there. We got to rely on the guy next to us to do his job. We got to play our positions. We got to play him well, and we got to play him with discipline. And that's what we feel we're going to have to do if we're going to be able to slow down this West offense. Offensively, we just have to get out of our own way. That was something that, we saw time and time again last week as we've looked at the film, and we've got to make sure that we execute and we play the way we're capable of playing. We need to get our athletes the ball in space and let them make plays. That's a large part of our game plan this week, is making sure we're getting our athletes the ball in space and allowing them to make plays. And also, I, as someone who's coached offensive line for a long time, I challenge those guys. We play physical football here at Portsmouth. We always have, and we always will, but I didn't see that physicality last Thursday. And I don't know if it was a conditioning issue. I don't know if it was just a starstruck first game of the season against an opponent that perhaps we underestimated a little bit on the field. But we got to get past that. And I told those guys, we need to bring back that physical brand of football that we're known for and have always given us that edge, because we're going to be in for a physical game tonight. It's Portsmouth West. Like I said earlier, it's a backyard brawl. It's a dogfight. It's going to be a tough matchup. It's going to be a slugfest for 4 quarters. So how are we going to show up? Are we going to show up and be reactive, or are we going to show up and attack? And that's kind of what I talked to the team about a lot this week.
Coach, can't wait to see it tonight. Best of luck to you and your Trojans. Always a pleasure, my friend.
Yep, same here, Chuck, and thank you for everything you guys do for our kids.
Thank you, bud. That is Coach Bruce Cobb of the Portsmouth Trojans. Tonight, his men of Troy have made their way to West Portsmouth for a showdown with the Senators at the Rock. Stay with us as the SOMC Sports Motion pregame show continues along on Mix 99.3.
High school football on this Total Media Group station is presented by Portsmouth Block and Portsmouth Building Supply, People's Bank.
Gamp's Corner, Route 140 in Slocum, is the perfect way to start the day. The BP convenience store opens the doors at 5:30 with home-cooked breakfast, coffee, and that first smile of the day. Everything from groceries, pop, candy, bread, milk, or fertilizer. They've even got an ATM for fast cash. Starting at 11 o'clock, enjoy delicious homemade pizza cooked to order. And remember, the BP convenience store will also deliver your home heating, fuel, and kerosene. Your one-stop shop for everything is the BP convenience store, Route 140 in Slocum, where it's good and green, both sides of the street.
Austin Goodman is in the auto body program at the Scioto County Career Technical Center. Austin is a junior from Menford High School who is on the baseball team. Austin, what do you like about the Scioto County CTC and your program?
I like the little bit of welding that we have to it. I like going in there and being able to do a whole bunch of different things on cars and learn more about them.
After high school, Austin intends to go to college and maybe open his own shop. The Scioto County CTC, a proven past for building a better future. High school football on this.
Gamp's Corner, Route 140 in Slocum, is the perfect way to start the day. The BP convenience store opens the doors at 5:30 with home-cooked breakfast, coffee, and that first smile of the day. Everything from groceries, pop, candy, bread, milk, or fertilizer. They've even got an ATM for fast cash. Starting at 11 o'clock, enjoy delicious homemade pizza cooked to order. And remember, the BP convenience store will also deliver your home heating, fuel, and kerosene. Your one-stop shop for everything is the BP convenience store, Route 140 in Slocum, where it's good and green, both sides of the street.
Austin Goodman is in the auto body program at the Scioto County Career Technical Center. Austin is a junior from Menford High School who is on the baseball team. Austin, what do you like about the Scioto County CTC and your program?
I like the little bit of welding that we have to it. I like going in there and being able to do a whole bunch of different things on cars and learn more about them.
After high school, Austin intends to go to college and maybe open his own shop. The Scioto County CTC, a proven past for building a better future.
high school football on this Total Media. Tonight, the West Senators will entertain the Portsmouth Trojans. This is the SOMC Sports Motion pregame show coming to you from The Rock. I'm Chuck Greenslate, along with Matt Payton and Coach Kirk Clifford, and with us now is the head coach of the 1-0 West Senators, Todd Gilliland. Coach, how are you doing this evening?
Doing really well. Excited for tonight and finally getting some good weather, not having to deal with the heat. So, I think it'll be a fun night for football.
Boy, you use the word excited. It seems like every Senator game that I've had the chance to watch over the last few years has been filled with excitement. Last year, you went into the locker room on 4 different occasions trailing and wound up pulling out come-from-behind victories. This past Friday in your season opener, that was quite exciting as well. You had a 17-point lead at the half against Fairland, and your kids found a way to hold on for a thrilling 30-27 win. I'm sure there has been a lot of buzz about the excitement of that opening game this past week.
Yeah, it was an exciting night for us. We kind of made it a little bit more exciting than it needed to be at times, but our kids showed a lot of resiliency, and really fought hard in that second half. We knew Fairland was a really good ball club and traditionally a good program, and they had some really good skilled athletes that could cause us problems, and they made a couple big plays that pulled them back into the game quickly, and our guys had to fight to get through, and we made some big plays when we needed to, and we were able to get the job done and come through. It was a big win for our program. For me, it's the first time in 4 years, or this is the 5th year of being the head coach, that we've been able to finally come out on top against Fairland. So that was a great way to start off the season, and and hopefully momentum.
Boy, you showed that you have some playmakers in that opening game. Anthony Bishop, 158 yards, which included a 96-yard TD in which he broke a couple tackles. Braden Atkins had a monstrous night for you. He had some big catches, wound up with 2 TD receptions, had a big interception as well. And then I really thought your quarterback, Brody Hall, did a nice job completing 8 of 13 passes for 211 yards and 3 touchdowns. One of those was off of a double reverse flea flicker pass to Christian Carrasco. I mean, the guys who typically touch the ball, they stepped up when called upon more often than not.
Yeah, we're really excited about the way Brody played this past week. Last year, his first year as a starting quarterback, and he was getting his feet wet, and we saw progressions throughout the year. Last year, and this off season, he really came. He came into the weight room and was working, on field stuff. As hard as I've ever seen anyone work, and he got himself ready, to be able to step up and be the leader of the offense this year, and he did just that on Friday night. Like you said, very efficient, throwing the ball, made good decisions, got the ball where only our guys could catch the ball, and and that was big. And also, he made some big runs for us as well in some key moments, moving the chains and things. So it was a great night for Brody, and what that does, that allows us to be a little bit more diversified on offense. The past few years we've kind of been a 3 yards in a cloud of dust type offense, and defense has been able to stack the box and put 9 and 10 guys almost in the box and just force us to try to do something we weren't comfortable doing. But now with the skilled guys we have, and Brody being able to get the ball to them, we can kind of be a little bit, like I said, be a little bit more diversified, and that will open up the run game a little bit more for us, and allow us to get the ball to several different people, and so defenses can't just key on like Anthony at the tailback position or just one of our receivers. We've got a lot of weapons this year that we're able to use.
Coach, you mentioned the quality of your skilled players. On the offensive front, the offensive line, you were anchored for the last 3-4 years by Cade Woods, who has since graduated and gone on to play at Rio Grande. You are trying to move on with some new pieces there on that offensive front. How do you feel about your O-line?
Yeah, they're coming along. Each week you can see they're improving, getting better. I think last week, of the 5 offensive linemen, it was 4 of them. It was their first varsity start. So we were able to build off that. And Ben Sparks we were kind of worried about him with some injuries in the off season of moving in and out and being able to play, and he was able to step up and play for us. That really helped us. So we're kind of him and Carson Carver have got a lot of varsity snaps, and so we're building around them a little bit, and those guys that are with them each week, you can see the improvement, from our first scrimmage to our second scrimmage till now. So we've got some work to do, work with pad level and just, the small fundamentals that it takes to be a successful offensive line, game in and game out. But, the one thing that you're not going to do is outwork them. They're going to work hard and just get after everybody on every play. And they're really well, let me say this. I'm really excited about the way they're moving and the way that we're improving each week. And so, we look for another big step tonight, and to see what they can do against a big defensive line that plays some quick DNs. And so, I look for some big things from them.
Coach Gilliland, over on the defensive side of the ball, your Senators stepped up and made plays when they needed to in that Week 1 win over Fairland. Tilton Rapp had 15 tackles. He had that big sack there on the next to last play of the game to preserve the victory. Bo Roden had a dozen tackles. Christian Carrasco with 9. Evans had 6. Pitts had 8. You had several guys with 5. I mentioned earlier the Adkins interception. What must your defensive unit do this evening to slow down a Portsmouth ball club that certainly has some weapons? Maybe they didn't get the chance to showcase them in that tough Week 1 loss to a very good Unioto ball club, but they've certainly got some athletes.
Oh, they definitely have a lot of athletes and have the ability to get the ball to several people, and then that big offensive line up front. They're going to definitely be a challenge. What's kind of from a defensive standpoint frustrating at times from them is that they have the ability to be in a 5-wide, spread offense, or line up with a tight end and have 2 backs. So they can be very diversified, and so you have to be prepared for a lot of different looks from them. And so, we understand, and we've talked about it, as a team, and that last week, their game against Unioto was not indicative of who they are. They're a much better football team than what that score showed, and I just think, some things happen, and there's one of those you look up, and the score is what it is. I look for them to just throw that one in the trash and move on. And we look for them to make the adjustments they need to make to get better. And they're going to come out with a fire about them, I think. And we're going to have to play very disciplined and physical football, because I think they can run the ball and get downhill. And they've got a couple good backs that are hard runners with a quarterback that has the ability to run. So they can take advantage of your weaknesses or your lack of self-discipline on the defensive side of the ball. So we really have to make sure that we're focused and have good eyes on defense and make sure we're all reading our keys and doing what we're supposed to do.
Coach G, it is always a pleasure. Best of luck to you and your West Senators tonight and throughout the rest of the season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Thank you. That's Coach Todd Gilliland tonight. His West Senators will entertain the Portsmouth Trojans. This is the SOMC Sports Motion pregame show on Mix 99.3.
High school football on this Total Media Group station is presented by Portsmouth Block and Portsmouth Building Supply, People's Bank, Real Estate Gallery, Little's Septic Service, Little's Grease Trap Removal, Little's Excavating, and Mr. Reuter Plumbing, the Counseling Center, Clark's Pump and Shop, First State Bank, the Minford IGA, Westside IGA, and Westside Hardware, Appalachian Marketing Media, and Dyer Insurance.
You're listening to High School Football on Mix 99.3. I'm Chuck Greenslate with Coach Kirk Clifford and Matt Payton. We thank you for tuning in for the SOMC Sports Motion pregame show. We're set to play football at the Rock as the Portsmouth Trojans have the ball teed up, preparing to boot it away to the West Senators. The opening kickoff is presented by Harris Floor Covering, 610 9th Street in Portsmouth, as well as Harris Outdoors, 616 9th Street in Portsmouth. Here is the approach by the Portsmouth Trojans kicker. He will put toe to leather. It's mishandled about the 2-yard line and picked up there. The return man for the Senators is Keegan Salem. He'll try to find room to the right, and he will not get near the 15-yard line as he is swarm tackled by a host of Trojans and brought down at the 11 after a 9-yard return. A pretty good kick there by the Portsmouth Trojans kicker, Jacob Roth. So deep starting field position for the Senators on the opening possession of the game. Again, that opening kickoff presented by Harris Floor Covering and Harris Outdoors. Harris Floor Covering is the area's leading floor covering contractor that has everything for all of your floor covering needs. Phone Stephen Harris at 740-353-7959 and visit Harris Outdoors for firearms and hunting equipment. The ball will be placed down on the right hash mark. Looks like a pistol formation for the Senators. Brody Hall stands behind center. 2 receivers each way. Bishop is the deep back, and the snap flutters back to the quarterback, but there's movement on the offensive line. False start on the Senators, so bad just got a little worse for Coach Todd Gilliland's ball club here, as that will be a 5-yard penalty, and will push the ball back to the 6-yard line to make it 1st and 15 to begin the game. West is going to re-huddle back in its own end zone before we see this first play from scrimmage. Starting lineups for the West Senators offensively. Brody Hall will get the nod at quarterback. The fullback is Bo Roden. Anthony Bishop is the running back. The receivers are Gunnar Schunkweiler, Braden Atkins, and Corbin Miller. On the line is Leif Potters, Carson Carver, Max Newsom, Eli Myers, and Ben Sparks. And another flag on the play. And again, this looks to be going against the Senators as the Portsmouth Trojan defenders are clapping. Another false start, half the distance to the goal. That'll push it back to the 3-yard line. What an atrocious start here for this West offense, and really for the West team as a whole. The opening kickoff bobbled at the 2. The return man only able to get up to the 11-yard line, and then back-to-back false starts before we had our first official snap of the game. 1st and 18, and whistles sound again. No flags. Looks like an equipment issue with one of the Portsmouth Trojans who will have to exit the game. That's Caleb Johnson, I do believe. So he will head over to the Trojan sideline. And coming in his place looks to be Tyshawn Henderson. So now we finally have a snap, and it's a give up the middle, and not much there, if anything, for the Senator ball carrier, who will advance the football from the 3 up to the 5, gain of 2. It's Bishop on the carry. It'll be 2nd down and 16. Looking at the Trojans' defense, on the line will be Wesley Runyon, Charles Fletcher, Kason Myers, and Zyrell Stubbs. The inside linebackers are Logan Thurman, Trevin Brooks. The outside backers, Fernando Pocius and D. Parker. In the secondary is Caleb Johnson, J.J. Henderson, and Leland Skurlock. Those starting lineups are a service of Valerie Ford on US 23 in Waverly. Here's a give. Left side, and some room for the West Senator ball carrier. It's Bishop again, and he's going to get up near the original line of scrimmage before the first of the 2 false starts were called on West to begin this drive. They will place the ball down at the 11.5-yard line, a little closer to the 12, and that is going to bring up 3rd down and 9 for the Senators as we are just underway here at the Rock. Matt, remember last week it was 3rd down and 8 for the West Senators inside their own 20-yard line when Jeffrey Bishop broke a 96-yarder to get the scoring started. Let's see if Portsmouth can stiffen here defensively, or if West can manage to pick up this down and distance. Shotgun formation. Hall is going to be swarmed back around the goal line. That is close to a safety, but his forward progress is going to have him down at the 2-yard line. But a big sack by the Portsmouth Trojan defense, and the West Senators will be punting out of their own end zone.
Trevin Brooks, big sack right there.
Blitzed and got in there quickly. A big defensive stand for the Trojans, forcing West into a 3-and-out here on this opening possession of the game. Of course, the Senators certainly didn't help themselves out with those back-to-back false starts. Well, Coach, the Trojans should get really good field position out of this.
Oh, yeah, they should get the ball on this side of the 50, on their side of the 50. No question about that. I don't remember how well this young man punts, but if even he gets a nice 40-yard punt, it's only going to go to the 45-yard line.
Christian Carrasco is the punter, and he gets a practice here because flags were flying before the ball was snapped. He was able to boot it out to about the 47-yard line, but we're going to have a do-over. Let's check this penalty. It's going to be an illegal substitution, it looks like, on the Portsmouth Trojans, on the West Senators, and that's going to be the 3rd penalty on West here in the first 2 minutes and 14 seconds of the game. So that's half the distance to the goal. That will move the ball back to the 1.5-yard line, and Carrasco's going to await this snap with his foot, literally about 6 inches from that end line, and we have whistles sounding again. That looks like another equipment issue, and again, it is Caleb Johnson being sent to the sideline. I wonder what's up there. The officials are seeing something with his equipment that they evidently do not like, and they have sent him off the field for the second time.
I watched the sidelines. He didn't do anything there. They put him back in. He's not doing anything now. I don't know what the deal is.
This punt is shanked by Carrasco. It's going to hit at the 30-yard line. Take a west bounce. It's picked up by Williams at the 35, and Williams takes the ball down inside the 25-yard line. Good return. They're going to spot this ball, looks like, around the 19-yard line, and this Trojan drive is going to begin inside the Quality Heating and Air red zone. Quality Heating and Air is located on Route 52 in Sugar Grove. So the Trojan offense, man, what a gift here to begin this drive at the 20-yard line of the Senators, going in here at the 9:34 mark of the scoreless first quarter. Locklear in the shotgun with Pocius lined up to his left. Bunch trips to the right. One receiver wide to the left. That lone receiver to the short side of the field is Skurlock. Locklear fakes the handoff to Pocius. And it's a run right up the middle, and there's not much there, but he got a little bit more than what I thought. Is they're going to spot this ball near the 15-yard line. That looks like about a almost a 5-yard pickup.
There's a QB trap on that play. QB counter, whatever you want to call it.
So Locklear with a positive gain, and the Trojans are faced with second down and a long 5 with the ball resting on the left hash mark. Bunch trips to the left this time, and the lone receiver to the right is out there by himself. The give will go to Pocius, trying to find room left side, avoids one tackler, avoids another, and fights his way down to around the 12-yard line. Good run by Pocius as he had to spin and dodge and duck his way from a couple of West defenders on his route to a 3-yard pickup to set up 3rd down and 2. For those of you watching on the Appalachian Marketing Media video stream, you can see the uniform colors yourself, but for those listening on radio, the Portsmouth Trojans are in their road whites from head to toe, red helmets, white jerseys with red numerals trimmed in blue, blue and red striping down the sides of the pants. The Senators are wearing all gray tonight with black helmets, orange numerals and stripes outlined in black on those gray uniforms. 2 receivers to the left. Locklear under center this time, gives to the deep back Pocius, looking for some room off right tackle and won't find much. Might have gotten about a half yard, but it's going to be 4th down for PHS. And one would think the Trojans are in 4-down territory.
Christian Carrasco doing a good job holding that contain on the edge.
No gain on the play. It's 4th and 2.
I wonder why they would want to be that deep with the tailback. I thought they might have been better off maybe going with the quarterback in the gun with the halfback set. That's why there's not deep. You got a tailback. He's got to gain 7 yards before he gains an inch.
Yeah. Just to get back to the line of scrimmage, he has to go that far.
Exactly.
Play clock down to 5. Looks like Coach Cobb's going to have to take a TO here. Let's see. Will he get it off in time? He does. Timeout on the field. We're going to keep things here and play a little catch-up. Again, the starting lineups. We mentioned a little earlier about the West offense and the Portsmouth defense. Now let's look at the Trojan offense. Quarterback is Marquez Locklear, a 5'10", 158-pound senior. Fernando Pocius is the running back. Cameron Williams, Leland Skurlock, Trevin Brooks, and Landon Malone are the receivers, along with Caleb Johnson. On the offensive line is Jonathan Carter, Wesley Runyon, Charles Fletcher, Nick Donnelly, and Alex Martinez. The West defense consists of Austin Ramsey, Carson Carver, Zane Pitts, Zane Evans, Christian Carrasco, Tilton Rapp, Bo Roten, Braden Atkins, Gunnar Schonkweiler, Anthony Bishop, and Weston Ratcliffe. Those are your Valerie Ford starting lineups. Valerie Ford. Remember, you can check them out online at ValerieFord.com, and keep in mind that all roads lead to Valerie Ford. Let's check the officials after this play. 4th down and 2 coming. I formation for the Trojans. Locklear under center. The deep back is Pocius. And the give is going to go to Pocius. He's going to get past one tackler, and he will have the 1st down as he goes flying to the 7. A gain of 5 on the play. 1st and goal for PHS. Tonight's officials are presented in honor of Matt Oren and are sponsored by Mr. Reader Plumbing, Little's Septic Service, Little's Grease Trap Removal, and Little's Excavating, all in Wheelersburg. Mr. Reader Plumbing prides itself on customer care. Little's Septic Service has been serving the region since 1964 and always strives to stay out of your yard and, if possible, off your driveway. Here's the 1st and goal play. Out of the eye again. It's Pocius again, and Pocius will take it to the end zone and in. Touchdown Trojans, and PHS takes the early lead at 6-0 with 7:06 left to play in the opening quarter. Well, a great start for the Portsmouth Trojans. For West, just about everything has gone awry here in the early stages, starting with back-to-back penalties before the first down snap, another penalty prior to West's punt, a shanked punt, a short field for the Trojans to work with this drive beginning at the 20-yard line, and Pocious punches it in for the Trojans' first touchdown of this 2025 season. On to try the point after for the Portsmouth Trojans is Jacob Roth, and this PAT is blocked. This score will stay at 6-0, and it appears that Tilton Rapp, the 5'10", 192-pound junior for the West Senators, was the defender who got a hand on the PAT. 6-0. This is high school football on Mix 99.3.
20 yards in 5 plays on a scoring drive.
Chevrolet, GMC, Honda, Toyota, Ford, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram. Glockner has an amazing selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Ask about the Glockner Guarantee. 12-month, 12,000-mile new vehicle premier coverage and 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage included on qualifying used makes and models. Credit issues? No problem. Glockner Auto Credit will finance your future, not your past. Shop online at Glockner.com. At Glockner, we make it easy.
We at Swick Bentley Funeral Home want to help you celebrate the life that inspired you. Whether you have lost a loved one or want to pre-plan your own services, we are here to help. We can help you plan traditional burial or a cremation service, and our staff will work to ease the burden a loss leaves. We may be reached by phone at 740-456-4133 or email at info@sbentleyfh.com. And to all our local athletes, play hard and stay safe.
The Portsmouth Trojans have jumped out to an early 6-0 lead over the West Senators. Here it's Ross' kickoff. Boy, this is a boot, a sidewinding kick. This will be fielded right at the goal line and touchback because the return man actually had a foot in the end zone. So that is an automatic touchback at the high school level. This West drive will begin at the Senators' own 20-yard line. There's been a change in the score. Changes happen quick, especially when you get your tires changed at Bob and Floyd's on Chillicothe Street in Portsmouth. Matt, let's check the scoring recap. It's a service of Nancy Hawk at the Real Estate Gallery with locations in Wheelersburg and Portsmouth. For all of your real estate needs, phone 740-574-9902 or log on to realestategallery.com.
Chuck, that scoring drive was a 5-play, 20-yard drive. 2 minutes, 15 seconds came off the clock, capped off by Fernando Posi's 7-yard touchdown run. Extra point was blocked by Tilton Rapp, and 6-0 to we're up.
All right, the West Senators' first drive had 3 penalties and negative yardage, 3 and out. Let's see if the Senator offense can get it going. Play action, Brody Hall in trouble, and he's sacked for the second time this evening as getting in there to make the stop for the PHS Trojans is Zyrell Stubbs. He's a 5'8", 150-pound senior, and a couple big blitzes in the early going here by this Trojan defense, Coach Clifford, have really worked out well.
Well, you know, the last couple of years, Portsmouth has gotten away from putting the great big behemoths up front on the edge, and they've gone with speed guys. Last year we had Zion Fro and I'll remember this guy's name. I don't remember much anymore in a minute. But that Stubbs came off the edge at defensive end, and he's just a mismatch on pass pro for a tackle.
Loss of 6 on the play, back to the 14. Hall in the gun, fakes a pitch to the right, now throws near side for Carrasco, just over his head, incomplete. It will be 3rd down and 16. Want to mention our game time temperature is presented by Call's Auto Sales at 161-127 US 52 West Portsmouth. While many car lots are struggling to stock their lots with quality used cars, Call's is blessed to have a great selection and offers financing. Bad credit, no problem. All you need is proof of income and a down payment. If you're looking for a sharp used vehicle, give Call's a call at 740-357-6009. It was 75 degrees here in West Portsmouth when this game kicked off.
Kingston Littlefield
was that really nice defensive player for the Trojans last year. Another big 3rd down coming up for West. 3rd and 16, right hash mark. Hall out of the gun. Fires over the middle, and the pass is incomplete. Ricochets off the fingertips of Bishop. He would have been brought down well shy of the first down had he made the catch, it appeared. So another punting situation for West. Another 3 and out forced by this Portsmouth Trojan defense. And boy, what a difference that 1 week can make, huh?
Well, I'll tell you what a difference makes is, if you remember last week, Portsmouth never caught one kickoff last week. Every kickoff went into the end zone. I have no why. I don't know why. But tonight, Cam Williams picked one up, and I think he picked it up at the 35 and got it down to the 20.
Yep. Here is the second punt of the night for Carrasco, and boy, Pocious got back there. He didn't block it, but he disrupted the kick by Carrasco big time. The ball will hit around the 26 and take a big Senator bounce, but still the Portsmouth Trojans will have excellent starting field position as the second Trojan drive of the night will again start on the west side of the 50. This one's going to begin at the 38-yard line going in, so the Trojan defense setting up the Portsmouth O suite for the second time in this game. We've got 6:01 left to play in the first quarter. It is 6-0 Portsmouth Trojans. During our pregame show, our producer tonight, Matt Payton, was battling hard to fight some echo-sounding commercial breaks, and we, I think, have got all of our pregame duties tended to, with the exception of naming our officials. We'll get to that as soon as we have a moment. Here's Pocius taking the handoff, looking for some room right side. Sidesteps one defender, still on his feet, fighting toward the first down sticks, and he is going to be close, about a yard shy. Gain of 9, and a nice run by Fernando Pocius. Tell you what, he is not shy about putting his body in precarious positions there. He will open up the body to try to sidestep a defender. He's done that several times already in this game. He has the lone touchdown in the contest. He'll get a breather as the Trojans get ready for this second down play. 8 yards actually on that last pickup by Pocius. It's 2nd down and 2. Ball on the right hash mark. The line of scrimmage is the 30 of West. Man in motion to the near side. Fake handoff. Locklear's going to pull it down and look for some room himself. Second time he's run the ball in the game, and he's going to be close to the yardage to gain. It'll depend on the spot. Looks like he might be just a bit shy. He's going to be spotted at the 28-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and inches, so it appears. Folks watching the Appalachian Marketing Media video stream probably see all the ultra glides in the air. If you're listening on radio, let me try to paint the picture. It's like a swarm of bees up in the air as they are having a Labor Day weekend festival. These Ultra Guide pilots, they are over at the Earl Thomas Conley Park. That's where they're hanging out. But boy, there's probably 25 of them in the skies here around the Rock at the moment. Let's take this time as we have a timeout on the field for a measurement to recognize those officials I mentioned. These officials are presented in honor of Matt Oren and are sponsored by Mr. Reeder Plumbing, Little's Septic Service, Little's Grease Trap Removal, and Little's Excavating, all in Wheelersburg. The gentlemen donning the stripes tonight are Gary Bailey, Andy Shepard, Tom DeCant, Bill Melvin, Mike Dillo, and Josh Shepard. Mr. Reeder Plumbing prides itself on customer care. Little's Septic Service has been serving the region since 1964 and always strives to stay out of your yard and if possible off of your driveway. Restaurant owners, Little's Grease Trap Removal can get in and out quickly with minimal impact on your business, and Little's Excavating is the only area excavator licensed in aeration design. Thank you, Dennis Little. 3rd down and inches for the Trojans. I formation, tight splits, quarterback sneak, and Locklear will have this with ease. Nice job by that Portsmouth Trojan offensive line, pushing the pile forward inside of the 25-yard line down to the 24. Pickup of 4 on the play. Coach talked about in the pregame this Trojan offensive line, how it's going to be key for them to have success tonight. So far, they have looked really good. Jonathan Carter, Wesley Runyon, Charles Fletcher, Nick Donnelly, Alex Martinez. I know they didn't have their greatest of all games against that really good Unioto squad a week ago Thursday, but so far so good for this unit this evening.
Well, they've changed their attack. Last week they tried to throw the ball and were going and throwing 70% of the time. Now they're running the ball. I
formation again, and it's Pocius, the deep back, following his fullback up into the hole, and he will stretch forward near the 22-yard line. Pretty good defense there by the Senators, limiting Pocius to a 2-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and about 7, it looks like. They're going to spot it to 21.
You mentioned that offensive line. There's an old saying in football, you don't put people in a position to fail. You put them in a position to be successful. And last week, they're asking those great big guys to try to block speed rushing athletic kids from Unioto. Didn't go so well. Now they're closing their splits down, and they're road grading again.
I formation again with 2 receivers to the left. It's Pocius again, taking the handoff, looking for some room left side, and he will not find any. Several Senators get there to make the stop in the backfield, and leading the charge was Weston Ratcliffe, a 5'9", 170-pound freshman, tackle for loss back at the 27-yard line. It'll be 3rd and long for PHS.
Tell you what, they really sent him on a blitz pretty quick, didn't they?
Yeah,
yes,
boy.
They did. I wonder if that was a run blitz, if he saw that action, Matt, and he just has an automatic go.
Could be. He showed good instincts last week, too.
Yeah.
If that was the case, Coach, that was a really quick read on his part. He did a great job if that so indeed was the case. 4 wide for the Trojans here on 3rd down and 13. Ball on the left hash mark, and we've got a timeout taken by PHS before this snap. We'll take one as well. This is high school football on Mix 99.3.
Hawk, the owner of Real Estate Gallery. I'm inviting you to contact any of our professional realtors for all of your real estate needs, or visit our website at realestategallery.com. Real Estate Gallery Incorporated, Portsmouth and Wheelersburg.
Real Estate Gallery will be there every step of the way. Real Estate Gallery.
Since 1964, Little Septic Service in Wheelersburg has been dedicated to providing dependable septic service. Little serves Pike, Scioto, and all surrounding counties. Besides installing septic systems and cleaning out septic tanks, Little's does septic system renewal permit inspections. So when you receive a letter from your local health department telling you it's renewal time, just call Little Septic Service at 740-574-2033. From little problems to major issues, you can depend on Little Septic Service.
Third down and 13 for the Trojans at the 27 of West, and prior to the snap, we have a false start on PHS. So this will back the Trojans up 5. I'm Chuck Greenslade along with Matt Payton and Coach Kurt Clifford. We are live at the Rock in West Portsmouth, where with 3:05 remaining in the opening quarter, the Portsmouth Trojans have a 6-0 lead over the West Senators. West was a 30-27 Week 1 winner over the Fairland Dragons here in West Portsmouth, while the Portsmouth Trojans fell at home a week ago Thursday to Uniodo 42-0. But right now, it's the Trojans in the lead. 5 wide to Marquez Locklear. Trips to the right, 2 receivers to the left. Post just comes in motion to the near side. Looks like that ball was snapped prematurely. Marquez Locklear will step up in the pocket, and he will be brought down at the 34-yard line for a West Senators sack.
That's 32 on the sack.
And that would be Zane Pitts. He is a 5'9", 190-pound junior, and that will move PHS back to the 34-yard line, and it is 4th down and 19. Boy, this is no man's land right here, Coach. Way too far out for a field goal try. If you punt, chances are you're not going to gain all that much. Really good chance at a touchback, which would have the ball coming out to the 20. You'd only net 14 yards, so the offense is going to stay out there. And if you're West, we talked about this last week, Matt, if you have an opportunity to intercept it deep, knock it down. Here's the pass, near side, incomplete. Right, and Braden Atkins was on the coverage. No flag out there. They're going to say that was clean. And let's see, do we have a flag near the line of scrimmage? I think we do.
It's going to be on Portsmouth.
So the officials are conversing, and let's await the decision. It's a false start on Portsmouth, and that is declined by West. Turnover on downs. The Senator offense will retake the field at their own 34-yard line, and that's one of the few positives that has taken place for Coach Todd Gilliland's West Senators here in this opening quarter. Big defensive hold there after Portsmouth took over the ball at the 38-yard line going in, already up 6-0. It looked like all the momentum was on that Trojan sideline, but this could be a sequence here where West has an opportunity to get it back. 2:14 left to play in the first period. It is still 6-0 Portsmouth Trojans. West will go straight to the line of scrimmage. That offensive unit got the play call from the sideline. No huddle, straight to the line, from the sideline to the line. Tilton Rapp and Christian Carrasco shift over from the right to the left. Hall in the gun. He's going to give to Bishop, looking for some room left side. Bishop trying to find the edge. He's going to cut up before going out of bounds. He actually never did go out of bounds, and that was a really nice run by Anthony Bishop. It looked like the Portsmouth defense had him corralled around the 39-yard line, but then he put that foot in the turf and got upfield and got an extra few yards to make it 2nd down and 1 for West after a 9-yard gain. That's the lengthiest run and most successful offensive play of the night thus far for Coach G's West Senators. Ball on the left hash mark. The line of scrimmage is the 42-yard line. 2 receivers to the right. 2 to the left. Bishop is the lone back, and a quarterback sneak by Brody Hall might get him the first down, but that'll be about it. He only needed a yard, and he did get that indeed. So that play will move the sticks for West. So many times you hear coaches and fans refer to 2nd and 1 as a waste down, but I think Coach G realized that his team just need to get a first down, not the opportunity here to get creative. He just needs to get some confidence in between the ears of his kids, and that might just do it. So they have their initial first down of this game, does West, and the Senators will now break the huddle and come back to the line of scrimmage. Two receivers to the right, a receiver and a tight end, a receiver and a wing, I beg your pardon, to the left. And here's the give up the middle to Bishop. He breaks it into the secondary. Bishop into Trojan territory and brought down inside of the 40-yard line for a nice gainer. And for the first time in this contest, the West offense will be snapping the ball on the Trojan side of the 50.
I tell you what, if Skurlock didn't get that diving tackle, Bishop may still be running.
A little over 15 yards on that pickup. A fresh set of 4 for the Senators. We are inside of a minute to play in what has been a fast-moving first quarter here at West High School. The Senators break the huddle and come to the line. Ball stays on the left hash mark. Braden Atkins is split out wide to the right. That looks to be Carrasco wide to the left. I formation. Bishop is the deep back. He takes the snap. He bounces it out to the right. Now cuts it up inside the 30, inside the 25, down inside the 20-yard line. And with that, Bishop has given West another first down as the Senators have moved into the Quality Heating and Air red zone. Quality Heating and Air can be found on Route 52 in Sugar Grove, just down the road from the Rock. This ball will be placed down at the 18-yard line. Gain of 21 on the play. 1st and 10 for the Senators. And West has picked up first down on each of its last 3 plays. And boy, just like that, the momentum has seemingly changed in this 6-0 game with Portsmouth on top. That might have been the final play of the first quarter, and for West, that's a good one to end it on. We have played one. 6-0 Trojans. This is high school football on Mix 99.3.
Tonight's game on Mix 99.3 is brought to you in part by these following sponsors: AJ's Auto Sales, Bell's Body Shop, and Coleman Sanitation Services. Be listening to high school sports all season long on Mix 99.3.
The Counseling Center is the region's leader in youth and adolescent counseling and play therapy services. TCC plays a large role in substance abuse prevention services for area youth, providing more than 4,000 prevention services for area school-age children each year. In operation since 1981, the Counseling Center is the region's leader in behavioral health care, providing everything from substance abuse prevention and recovery to mental health counseling, primary care, vocational development, and job placement services. Learn more online at thecounselingcenter.org. Call your
6-0, the Portsmouth Trojans lead the West Senators as we get set to begin the second period at the Rock. West with a nice drive going right now as the Senators have the ball 1st and 10 at the 18 going in. Coach, your thoughts of the first period?
Portsmouth's got a big break at the beginning with field position. I thought that might be a big factor in the ball game. Had a chance to take advantage of field position the second time they got it and didn't make it. Just didn't get it done. When you get there, you're in 4-down territory. You got to go with your best runner behind your best lineman.
First down for West. First play of the second period. Atkins motions to the right. Here is the give up the middle to Bishop. Bishop looking for some room behind his right guard and tackle, and he won't find much. Nice defense by the Trojans on that play, limiting Bishop to a minimal gain. It'll be second down for the West Senators. Schunkweiler and Carrasco will enter the game for the West offense. Gain of 2 on that last play. West with the ball at the 16-yard line. It's second down and 8 with the football placed on the right hash mark. Another beautiful night here in West Portsmouth, as was the case last Friday for the Senators' season opening win over the Fairland Dragons. As mentioned earlier, the Coles Auto Sales game time temperature at kickoff was 75 degrees. Perfect for this final weekend of August. Here's a designed quarterback run. Hall with room left side, cuts it up inside the 10-yard line and down to the 6. A pickup of 10. It will be 1st and goal for the West Senators.
Nice run there by Brody Hall.
Yeah, and he had 3 designed quarterback runs in the second half of the Fairland game last Friday, and he wound up with 25 yards on those 3 carries. He's got some wheels. He is deceptively quick, and he showed it on that last play, setting up the Senators with 1st and goal. Ball on the left hash mark. I formation. Bishop, the deep back, bounces it out to the right. He will walk in untouched. The Senators have evened the score at 6 with 10:50 left to play in the second quarter. A beautiful drive by West. There's been a change in the score. Changes happen quickly, especially when you get your tires changed at Bob and Floyd's on Chillicothe Street in Portsmouth.
Nice drive there by Bishop. And he's now 7 carries, 64 yards. He's averaging 9 yards a pop.
Wow. Eli Blevins to try the point after. He was perfect on PATs last week, but he misses his first here, and that's big because now the score remains even at 6 apiece with 10:50 left to play before halftime. It's West and it's Portsmouth, and it's a good one here at the Rock. This is high school football on Mix 99.3.
Tonight's game on Mix 99.3 is brought to you in part by these following sponsors: AJ's Auto Sales, Bell's Body Shop, and Coleman Sanitation Services. Be listening to high school sports all season long on Mix 99.3.
The Counseling Center is the region's leader in youth and adolescent counseling and play therapy services. TCC plays a large role in substance abuse prevention services for area youth, providing more than 4,000 prevention services for area school-age children each year. In operation since 1981, the Counseling Center is the region's leader in behavioral health care, providing everything from substance abuse prevention and recovery to mental health counseling, primary care, vocational development, and job placement services. Learn more online at thecounselingcenter.org.
To kick it away.
6-all, Portsmouth and the West Senators with 10:50 left to play in the first half. Christian Carrasco has the ball teed up for West, getting set to boot the ball away. Back deep to return for the Portsmouth Trojans is Cameron Williams, and also back there with him, I believe, is Leland Skurlock.
You are correct.
Skurlock had a couple of incredible interceptions last week in the loss to Unioto, and he's going to pick up this kickoff as he gets the ball off the bounce inside the 2-yard line, sprinting toward the far side of the field. He'll be slowed down before he gets to the 10-yard line. Great open field tackle by Corbin Miller of West. He is a 6'3", 190-pound junior, and the Trojan offense will far and away have its worst starting field position of the evening. The first Trojan drive started at the West 20. The second drive started at the 38. This one, however, will begin at the Trojans' own 9-yard line. Matt, let's check the West scoring drive, which took place just a few moments ago. We'll do it after this upcoming play, but I'll remind everyone that it is a service of Nancy Hawk, the Real Estate Gallery, Wheelersburg and Portsmouth. For all your real estate needs, call Nancy at 740-574-9902 or log on to realestategallery.com. We've got penalties flying, and this looks to be on the Portsmouth Trojans. Encroachment, half the distance to the goal line. So I said this when West had its first possession of the game, that bad got worse after West had an issue with the opening kickoff return, and now it's deja vu, but only for the Portsmouth Trojans here in the early goings of the second quarter. Again, we'll get to that scoring drive by the Senators after this first snap of this drive for PHS. Locklear awaits the snap out of the pistol. He takes the snap at his own goal line and gives to the lone back. This is Pocius. Dodges one tackler, spins away from another, and fights his way forward back to the original line of scrimmage. That was a nice run by Fernando Pocius. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Trojans after the 5-yard pickup. Matt, let's take a look at that scoring drive as we promised.
That scoring drive by the West Senators was a 7-play, 67-yard drive, 3 minutes, 7 seconds coming off the clock. It was a touchdown run by Anthony Bissop from 6 yards out. Extra point was no good, so we're tied at 6 here in the second.
A Bishop TD for West, a Fernando Pocius touchdown for Portsmouth. Missed extra points both ways. Here's Locklear with some open field left side on the quarterback run. He will take the ball out across the 25-yard line to the 30. That's going to go for about a 21-yard pickup and a first down for the Portsmouth Trojans. Locklear with a couple of nice runs already in this game, that being his biggest of the night. And, Coach, that was really good blocking up front by that PHSO line.
Yeah, good enough fake to freeze the linebackers, create good angles by the linemen. It was well-executed play.
3 receivers to the right side of the formation, 1 split out wide to the left, ball on the left hash mark. Locklear in the pistol, awaiting the snap. He's going to give to Pocius up the middle. Pocius lowers that head and shoulder and plows his way out to near the 35-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down for PHS. They'll spot him at the 34. We'll call it 2nd down and 6 after the 4-yard gain by Fernando Pocius. Pocius is a very, very powerful back. Coach Bruce Cobb talked to me a week or so ago about him. I guess he just lived in the weight room over the winter months. He's a 5'10", 202-pound junior, and in addition to having that strength that we just alluded to, he's got some quickness also. Nice moves. Fake handoff to Pocius. Here's Locklear again, and another nice quarterback run as he takes the ball out to the 45-yard line before being stopped by the Senators, Weston Ratcliffe. The Trojans are starting to get some really nice runs from their quarterback coach as the game moves forward.
He's got a lot of ability to run the ball. I can't imagine changing your offense completely from one year to another year and putting a first-year guy in there and saying, okay, let's go out and throw 7 out of every 10 plays. That's a tough job. Now they're playing to his strength.
Trips to the right. It's Pocius up the middle, bounces it out to the left. He's got room. Pocius inside the 40, inside the 35-yard line, and then run out of bounds by the Senators. Gunnar Schonkweiler, another big run for Pocius. And boy, this is very reminiscent of last year's Trojans, where it was either J.T. Williams faking a handoff to Chase Highland and keeping it for big yardage, or giving it to Chase Highland, who typically ran for big yardage. That little quarterback-running back combo that the Trojans have, it is working well tonight. And, Coach, you mentioned this in the pregame about how difficult it can be for a team when they lose both their quarterback and their running back. The Trojans have seemingly found their way, but just as I say that, I might have jinxed them as the snap got by Locklear. He's able to fall upon it back at the 41-yard line to avoid the turnover, but a big loss on the play.
Well, you don't want to finesse block with big guys like they got. Their line probably averages 275 or 280. Just wear down the defensive line and let your backs find a hole.
Oh, somebody just went down the cramp.
Second down and 17. That is a receiver for the Portsmouth Trojans, and that is Leland Skurlock. Talked about him earlier. He had the kickoff, which started this drive, the kickoff return, I should say, and he had a couple great interceptions in that opening week loss to Unioto, but boy, that left calf, it started scrunching up on him in a hurry, and to the ground he went.
He dropped.
Caleb Johnson over there to help him try and stretch that out. Hopefully he's back to his feet soon. While they get Skurlock tended to, Coach, you mentioned the size of the Portsmouth Trojan offensive line. I would say you're almost spot on with that guesstimation that the average size is 280, because Jonathan Carter goes 6'2", 304. Wesley Runyon is 6'1", 286. Charles Fletcher is 6 foot 305 pounds. Nick Donnelly is 6'2", 300 pounds. And the runt of the bunch is the freshman center, Alex Martinez, who is 6 foot 260 pounds. All these kids 18 years old or younger, that's a big group of young men.
Man. Bigger than the line I played on in college.
Yeah, that is ginormous.
Hey, they got the road graders out tonight.
2 300-plus pound, three guys, 300 or more, and one 280, the other 260.
Only attempted one pass so far, all on the ground.
And it's been working. Scratch where it itches. If it's not broken, don't fix it. But here with second down and long, the Portsmouth Trojans might eventually have to go to the air on this drive, if not on this play. They're going to look to throw it as Locklear rolls to his right, fires back across the body, pass tipped and caught off the ricochet. The intended receiver wasn't the one who caught it, but in the right place at the right time was Caleb Johnson. The 6 foot 176-pound senior makes the reception, but it looks like we have a penalty marker on PHS as the officials are talking with the West defensive unit to see if they want to accept it. It is a hold on the Trojans. And it looks like the Senators will accept this penalty.
And it was actually, I think, intended for Cameron Williams, and it got tipped. And then all of a sudden, here came Caleb Johnson out over to pick it all, or catch it, but all negated.
Kindness rewarded for Caleb Johnson, even though it's not going to count in the stats. He goes and helps Leland Skurlock stretch out that cramp, and he winds up getting the football in his hands. Divine intervention. But the penalty pushes the ball back to Portsmouth's own territory, as the football will now be spotted at the Trojan 49-yard line. It is second and forever. Locklear going to throw, sets up a screen to Pocius. Pocius makes the reception in the backfield. He's not going to get near the line of scrimmage. He is swarmed under at the 45-yard line. Loss of 4 on the play, and it will be third down and long now for Portsmouth. And boy, this drive had so much promise there for a while. But you guys were talking about the ground and pound that PHS was showcasing with the running of the quarterback and tailback Fernando Pocius. When you get behind the chains, that takes the running game completely out of sorts.
Exactly. But you know what? Again, I allude to what I talked about earlier from last week. Portsmouth receivers are not getting open.
Nope.
Bunch trips to the left. One receiver to the right. Shotgun formation for Locklear, who takes a snap, rolls to his left. He's in trouble, and he is going to be dropped back at the 40-yard line. Really nice defense there by the West Senators. There were several Senators in the area, but it looks like Zane Pitts was once again leading the charge. The 5'9", 190-pound junior in on another sack, and it'll be fourth down and long for PHS, and the punting unit will trot on to the field. Score is tied at 6 as we come up on the 6.5-minute mark of the second period. Trojans scored first. That was in the first period, rather early on, and then the Senators answered with a game-tying touchdown here early on in the second quarter. Both extra points were no good, and that's where we stand. Good punt, or good snap, I should say, to the punter, Roth, and Roth does get off a good punt, and it will be fair caught right around the 20-yard line, and that is Bishop making that fair catch. Bishop wears number 18, but the way his jersey is folded up underneath the shoulder pads, it almost looks like number 10.
Yep.
That is number 18, Anthony Bishop, and the Senator drive will start from West Zone 20 with the score even at 6 with 6:15 left to play before halftime.
Honestly, I think the ground and pound's been working. If they're going to pass, both times I've seen Locklear immediately roll out of those passing situations. And those big guys aren't good at, they don't look like their feet are that good.
They're not. They're not. Wait, or maybe play action.
Yes.
If you've established the fact you can run the football, that makes your play action game go. Mm-hmm. If it's just a fake and a pop-up slant.
Just something.
Carrasco is going to shift from the left side of the West formation to the right. He'll line up as a tight end. Bishop is going to take the handoff from Hall, and Bishop's got some room left side, and he'll go out of bounds around the 30-yard line. Tell you what, he geared down there a little bit and then quickly shifted his body over to the left. That was a nifty little move by Anthony Bishop, and he gains 10, and that will be enough to move the chains. Another first down for the West Senators.
Bishop just 74 yards on 8 carries. He's still at that 9 yards pop.
Tell you what, we're seeing two pretty good backs here tonight with Fernando Poches of Portsmouth and Anthony Bishop from West. And they both had big plays in this contest. Atkins goes in motion near side. And boy, a near miscue there on the handoff. The snap was high. Hall was able to get it down. He did manage to get the ball into the hands of Atkins, even though that exchange was bobbled. And then Atkins is brought down in the backfield, but it appears that he was possibly tackled by the face mask as the flag goes flying.
Horse collar.
Yep. Horse collar tackle. So that should give the West Senators another first down via penalty. Portsmouth was really bitten by a bunch of flags in last weekend's season opener against Unioto. This game has had its fair share of penalties on both teams, but I don't think it's near as bad as that first half against Unioto last week, where it was just flag after flag after flag on both Portsmouth and Unioto.
Much better flow, that's for sure.
Definitely, definitely. First and 10 for the Senators as the penalty pushes the ball up to the 41-yard line. Blitz coming for Portsmouth. Here is the give to Ratcliffe. He's got some room right side, and Ratcliffe is going to be brought down over on the far sideline, but not before he gets a first down and moves the ball into Trojan territory. And there was an illegal tackle over there of some sort. I heard a lot of folks cry face mask, and that will tack on some more yardage to the end of this run. But a nice burst there by Weston Ratcliffe, the 5'9", 170-pound freshman. And Coach Cobb brought the blitz up the center, and Ratcliffe was able to get to the edge, and there was no one there until he got about 5 or 6 yards downfield.
So seems most of West's success running has been on the perimeter.
Yep.
They've had a couple pop up in the middle, but most of their yardage is coming off the perimeter.
And you know, sometimes, Coach, those successful runs West has had in this game, and I noticed this against Fairland last week, they weren't designed to get to the perimeter. It was just the back having the wherewithal to bounce it out. We definitely see that with Bishop. Here's a pitch to the aforementioned Bishop. This is a design run to the outside. On the sweep, Bishop will take the ball down to around the 20-yard line, and he is going to be close. Actually, he's got himself another Senator first down. Pickup of 11, and with that, West has moved back into the Quality Heating and Air red zone. Quality Heating and Air can be found on Route 52 in Sugar Grove, just down the road from the Rock. 5:24 left, 6 all the score. Portsmouth and Portsmouth West locked in a good battle here in the first half of play. Exactly what you would expect from two rivals. And this is a good rivalry, too. A very good rivalry. These two have split their last 6 meetings. Portsmouth, a big win last week, or last year, I should say, and West winning the year before. Here is Bishop up the middle and fighting his way down near the 10-yard line. You said earlier, Matt, that Bishop before this drive started, was averaging 9 yards per carry. He's got to be right there at that, if maybe not a little better now.
9.44, and we're going to add another 9-yard carry.
They're hitting the C gap. They're not going up inside.
No.
They're hitting that C gap and outside. And you know what? Portsmouth's defensive ends are not very big guy. One of them's 148 pounds, and the other one's 150 pounds. So that's probably why their offensive coordinator, Irvin, wants to hit those guys where he's hitting them.
2 receivers to the right on 2nd down and 1. Hull, quarterback, design run, trying to find the edge left side, picks up a couple. That'll be enough to provide West with 1st and goal. Gain of 3 on the play, down to the 8-yard line. Actually the 9, I beg your pardon. Give him a gain of 2, but it will be 1st and goal. And Coach, for folks who don't know, A gap is the gap in between the center and the guard, B between the guard and tackle, and then C is between your tackle and your tight end.
Exactly.
And you noticed something last week, Coach. When Unioto saw the A gap was wide open, they kept basically going a goose call or something straight back to back to back, right up the middle, down the school line situation.
I formation for West, a pitch that is a little behind Radcliffe. A nice athletic play by Radcliffe to reach back and get that pitch out of the air, but that slowed him down just enough that the Portsmouth defense was able to string out that play and throw him for a loss. That was really good contained over there on the far side by PHS. I believe that was J.J. Henderson making the stop. He's a 5'11", 150-pound junior.
That's the time, that time Portsmouth defense did a good job. He strung it out as far as he could, but then he sacrificed his body because he had a mismatch size-wise. But when he did, that caused a little bit of a mess right there, forced it back to run backwards a little bit, hit to the outside, and there's the outside linebacker making the play for him.
Also 3, 2nd and goal from the 12. Here's a give to Bishop up the middle. He got past one defender, but the Portsmouth Trojan defense just keeps right on coming, and he did not make the line of scrimmage. Another nice defensive stop by PHS. They got there in a hurry. They really fired through the center, up those A and B gaps, and Bishop just never had a shot. It's going to be 3rd down and goal, ball resting back at the 13, almost the 14-yard line.
Trevin Brooks with a big tackle there.
Yeah.
The Trojan defense trying to stiffen after it looked like West was en route to a game-leading touchdown.
Portsmouth's going to be in man coverage, so see what West comes up with.
West is going to keep it on the ground and go conservative and give to Bishop, and Bishop's going to bob and weave and pick his way to the 11, gain of 2, but it will be 4th down and goal. And what will Coach Todd Gilliland do here?
We got a flag on the play.
And boy, this could certainly be big. If it's against the Trojans, it's very big.
Looks like West is walking backwards.
Well, the officials continue to talk. And here comes the signal. Dead ball personal foul against West. Oh, my. What a killer that is. Oh, that will make Coach Todd Gilliland's hair turn gray and fall out. Man, you know, West perhaps had at least the option of trying a field goal had that personal foul not taken place, or maybe even going for it on 4th down from the 10, 11-yard line. But, boy, not to be tonight. Not on this series here. They're going to have to throw up a prayer and hope.
Well, Portsmouth will be in man-to-man coverage. That's all they play. So it's going to depend upon if anybody can get past the Portsmouth defender.
We're going to have a reverse, and it is going to be gobbled up in the backfield. The pitch originally went to Bishop, who gave it to Atkins, and he is taken down for a big loss by Zyrell Stubbs, a 5'8", 150-pound senior. And what started out as a really good-looking West Senator drive stalls all the way back at the 34-yard line with 2:27 left to play in this tie ball game late in the first half.
I got a question for you.
Lay it on me.
Is this game scripted?
It is leading to high drama.
Portsmouth take it all, get a great drive and then get penalties and lose yards. West gets a great drive, penalty and lose yards, miss PATs.
They've almost mirrored each other with everything they've done. Here's Pocius up the middle, and Pocius will fight hard to get out to the 38-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play, 2nd down and 6. Portsmouth going no huddle right to the line of scrimmage. The Trojans only have 1 timeout remaining, so time is a little bit of an issue here, even though we have just over 2 minutes to play. That can evaporate pretty quick. Bunch trips to the right. Fake handoff. Ball on the ground, and Locklear's going to fall upon it. Boy, the ball had fallen right behind Pocius as Locklear was trying to fake the handoff to Fernando, and Pocius didn't realize that it was lying right behind him.
I think West called a timeout, Chuck.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a good move by Coach Todd Gilliland, because if West can get a stop here on third down, they'll get the ball back. We have 1:59 to play, tie ball game. This is high school football on Mix 99.3.
Medical is expanding to open a second office in Grayson, Kentucky. Collier is a local durable medical equipment company providing and offering free setup of home medical equipment. Collier tends to home oxygen, portable oxygen, hospital beds, wheelchairs, rollators, walkers, and more. Collier Home Medical, now with offices at 1661 State Route 522 Wheelersburg, as well as at 146 South Carroll Malone Boulevard, Grayson. Call Berg at 740-574-0327. Phone the Grayson office to make an appointment at 740-981-6343. Collier Home Medical. On the Esplanade Laser Center and Medical Spa in Portsmouth knows that looking better makes you feel better. On the Esplanade offers body contouring, numerous skin services such as microneedling and chemical pills, as well as Botox and Juvederm injections. Plus, On the Esplanade has Obagi skincare products, among others. Let On the Esplanade Laser Center and Medical Spa help you look your best. Visit On the Esplanade, 813 Gallia Street, Portsmouth, and follow on Facebook.
Third down and 12 for the Portsmouth Trojans. Locklear fakes the handoff, in trouble, hit in the backfield, and he is going to be dropped back inside of the 30-yard line. Another big sack by the West Senators, and another timeout taken by Coach Todd Gilliland of West. That will be the second TO taken by the hometown Senators here at the Rock, and it is going to be fourth down in a punting situation for the Trojans. West is going to get the ball back, and Anthony Bishop is back in punt formation. We'll go ahead and keep things here. Remind you to stick around at halftime, as we will be taking a look at the first half stats, as well as sharing scores from other games with you. We've got several interesting talking points to discuss with you at halftime. Boy, I don't know about you guys, but as I look up at all these altar glides in the sky, it's almost trippy. It's like that snow globe feel. I mean, they are everywhere you look. Quite a sight. I had to take a little video that I'll be putting on Facebook later, but I don't think I've ever seen a sight such as that. You know, you see out west, they have those big hot air balloon festivals, but here in West Portsmouth, going into this Labor Day weekend, it's all about the altar glides, and they are everywhere. And Coach, you had asked me earlier if they were drones. No, there's people in those things. Basically a golf cart with a fan on the back of it and a parachute.
Well, I'm quite sure there's a weight limit. That disqualifies me from doing that.
Probably me too, Coach. Probably me too. Punt formation. Roth awaits the punt. Good snap. He's going to get the boot away. It's a high end-over-end kick. It is going to hit at the 41-yard line and be downed right there by the Trojans. It was D. Parker, the 5'8", 141-pound senior, getting down there to down the ball. Not a bad punt for Roth, but pretty decent starting field position for the West Senators. And you know good and well, guys, that Coach Todd Gilliland is the proverbial riverboat gambler in situations like this. West scored very late in the first half last week with a double reverse pass, with Hall connecting with Christian Carrasco in the Fairland win. So it will be interesting to see tonight what the Senators dial up here in the final 143.
I think Portsmouth would be better off sitting back with a two deep and playing man underneath instead of straight man-to-man.
Tell you what, it's a lot of pressure on your DBs when you go man coverage, especially in situations like this. 4 wide, and it's a quick pass to Schockweiler, right side. He makes the reception right around the line of scrimmage and then slides forward to the 43, a gain of 2 on the play, second down and 8.
It was a great hustle by Bubba. He did a nice job, Bubba Fletcher.
Ball on the right hash mark. Hall takes a snap, rolls to his left, hold on West. Pass is caught near side by Atkins. Yeah, but that was gonna come back.
That was a WWE
move. the right end by the Portsmouth Trojans, taken down by the Senator left tackle.
Well, that's that's a speed thing. When you've got the speed factor over your guy that you're pass rushing against, we can take a look at even in the NFL, they don't have 6'1", 320-pound defensive ends.
Yeah.
They bring guys off the edge that can run, get a mismatch.
They're coming around one more time. Dig deep.
Ball right in the middle of the field. Clock rolling. 1 minute to play before halftime. 6 all to score. One-on-one coverage up top to the right. Hall looking to his left, firing on the out route. Pass caught by Atkins, who will go out of bounds to stop the clock with exactly 52 seconds remaining before the break. Gain of 7 on the play. Back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 10. And now keep in mind that if the Senators don't pick up this first down, they'll have to punt the ball back to Portsmouth. Now, I don't know if Portsmouth has that big play offensive spurt, but anytime you got a punt, crazy things can happen. Snap could be bad. Punt could get blocked. You could have a big return. So West obviously would love to go down and score here before heading into the locker room at halftime. Most importantly, they want to keep themselves away from a punting situation. Here's Hall out of the gun and a flag. Encroachment on the Trojan defense. So West is going to pick up a free 5 here. A little gift from the Trojans, and that'll make it 3rd down and 5. Boy, that sure changes the play call.
I didn't see that.
This will move the ball to the 46-yard line.
I wonder if they were lined up in the neutral zone.
Could have very well been, Coach.
I think that might have been it because I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I didn't see anybody jump. Must have had his head in the neutral zone.
Or hand. 50.6 seconds remaining.
Yes.
Ball on the left hash mark. West breaks the huddle. 2 receivers each way. Hall in the gun. Bishop lined up to his left. Hall takes the snap, looking, has time, lofts it down the near sideline for Atkins, just overthrown. Atkins had created a little separation between he and the Portsmouth Trojan defensive back Dontavian Parker, who was on the coverage. But all in all, that was pretty good coverage there by D. Parker. It's 4th and 5 for West, and one would think a punting situation.
Oh, yeah.
So the Trojans will send 2 return men back deep. Cameron Williams is one of them, and we know his athleticism. He was the starting quarterback for PHS 2 years ago as a freshman, very quick. And Leland Skurlock, we saw his athleticism with 2 great interceptions last week in the Unioto game. This is a high punt by Carrasco. It's going to go out of bounds, actually hit out of bounds, just inside the 30-yard line. So we talked about how Coach Todd Gilliland will roll the dice when he gets his offense on the field in the waning moments of the first half. Will Coach Bruce Cobb play it conservative here, Coach Clifford, or will he be content to take this 6-6 score into the locker room?
I think he's going to go conservative. I mean, if he had last year's team, or if he had a Drew Rowe or a Tyler Duncan with the receivers they've had, maybe. Let's see if we can't get it down to the 50-yard line or up to 50-yard line or whatever. Now we've got 1 timeout left, and if we got it to 50-yard line, we're cooking now.
The best Trojan play tonight has been Locklear faking to Pocius and running. He is going to throw, though, or wanting to. He's rolling to his left, under duress. He's in trouble, and he is going to be dropped back inside the 25-yard line. Another Senator sack. The 23-yard line is where the new line of scrimmage will be, and that could be the final play of the half if the Trojans choose for it to be.
Well, you know Coach Newsom is a defensive coordinator, and I know Ted as well as I know anybody, and I can guarantee he's telling his guys, tackle the ball. Just tackle the ball, because if they got a turnover right there, they got 1 timeout and 30 seconds to go. So now they're going to let it go.
That's going to be it for the first half of play. We have played the first 2 quarters here at the Rock in this rivalry matchup, and we are dead even. West 6, Portsmouth 6. Another good one here tonight on Mix 99.3. We're back in 4 minutes.
Hi, I'm Gary Duzan of Portsmouth Insurance, a TAH Benefits partner.
And I'm Jay Hazelbaker, president of TAH Benefits.
Portsmouth Insurance specializes in helping local business owners with their employee benefits.
We understand that operating a business can be stressful. Let us alleviate at least one of those worries for you. Portsmouth Insurance understands the health insurance marketplace, and our commitment to service and knowledge of both the personal and business insurance markets can give you peace of mind.
For assistance with all of your employee benefit needs, call us at Portsmouth Insurance, 740-353-4105.
At AJ's Auto Sales, Route 52 West is a big supporter of the West Senators and the youth of our area. And at AJ's, you'll find a big selection of clean, like new used cars, trucks, and SUVs. At AJ's, you'll buy there and pay there because they finance what they sell. Call Arky today. Let him put you behind the wheel at a great-looking vehicle at a great price. That's AJ's Auto Sales, Route 52 West, or go online at ajsautosales.llc.com and see the great selection.
Treat their customers with personal, courteous service. When it comes to auto repair, Bell's Body Shop can do it all, including framework, and they give free insurance estimates. Bell's professional help is only a phone call away. 740-858-2324. Bell's Body Shop, West Portsmouth.
Well, the trash piles up, but don't you fret. Coleman Sanitation's the best one yet. Weekly pickups, rain or shine, we'll keep your place looking mighty fine. Call Coleman, we're rolling through Shawnee County, South Shore too. We take care of it all for you.
Call Coleman Sanitation Services, 740-858-7570.
At People's Bank, our team of local, trust, and wealth management professionals can help you achieve your financial goals. We offer comprehensive services including investment management, retirement planning, estate planning, trust administration, and more. Our customized strategies are designed to grow and preserve your wealth while minimizing risk. Let People's Bank put our decades of expertise to work for you. Call me, Elise Dye, or one of our other trust and wealth management professionals today to schedule your free consultation. People's Bank, working together, building success.
High school football on this Total Media Group station is presented by Portsmouth Block and Portsmouth Building Supply, People's Bank, the Real Estate Gallery, Conley Trucking and Conley River Terminal, the Scioto County Career Technical Center, Carpenters Local Union 437, the Glockner Family of Dealerships, Gamps John Deere and Convenience Store, SOMC, Portsmouth Insurance, Monroe's Frame and Collision, the McKinley Funeral Home, as well as Collier Companies. Josie and Carly and all the gang at Conley Trucking and the Conley River Terminal wish the best to our local athletes. In business since 1975, Conley Trucking will do both commercial and residential work, hauling everything from gravel to grain. The next time you need fill dirt or limestone, contact Conley Trucking and the Conley River Terminal. Phone 740-776-7634. For a quote, email conleytrucking@frontier.com. And again, Josie and Carly wish all area athletes the best of luck.
When you're looking for great landscaping ideas, visit Portsmouth Block, 2700 Gallia Street, Portsmouth, where you'll find a full line of landscaping products such as decorative brick chips, landscaping block, brick pavers, retaining wall block, concrete landscaping edging, gravel, sand, and much more. Portsmouth Block sells to the public as well as to contractors. Create the fire pit, patio, wall, or water fountain you've dreamed of. Everything you need for the ultimate landscaping look is at Portsmouth Block, 2700 Gallia Street in Portsmouth.
At halftime, the West Senators and the Portsmouth Trojans are all even at 6 apiece. I'm Chuck Greenslate, along with Matt Payton, welcoming you to this evening's halftime report. It has been a fun first half of play. Checking some scores from other games, Medford and Chesapeake are all even at 14. Valley has a 44-0 lead over Fayetteville Perry. Notre Dame is in front of Southeastern Ross 14-9. Fairland leads Point Pleasant 20-0. And Jackson is in front of the Gallia Academy 21-0. Albany Alexander has a 34-0 lead over East. Colgrove is up 22-0 on Adena. The Northwest Mohawks and Greenfield McLean, they are all even at 6 apiece. 42-0. Piketon is up on Wellston. So those are the scores that we have to report on at this point. Got a few others here just rolling in. Russell leads Greenup County in the first period, 7-0. South Point is in front of Racine Southern, 16-0. Boyd County leads Rock Hill, 20-7. Cincinnati McNicholas is in front of Leadersburg, 7-3. Welcome to the My Own Bible halftime show, brought to you by the Calvary Baptist Church at 2306 Waller Street in Portsmouth. While making great efforts to reach the world with the gospel, Calvary Baptist Church and My Own Bible seek to support all the athletes and families of Southern Ohio. You are invited to be our guest at Calvary Baptist Church this Sunday. My Own Bible exists to bring the Word of God to the world. With the Bible in over 30 languages, this mission is being accomplished. If you are looking for a Bible app, a daily devotional, or a Bible reading plan, My Own Bible can help. On the My Own Bible platform, you can search and share Scripture with just a touch of your screen. Download My Own Bible today for your computer, Apple, or Android device, and discover the many Bible helps available to you. From devotional and Bible reading plans to commentaries and Bible helps resources, My Own Bible is a powerful tool for the gospel of Jesus Christ. For more information about Calvary Baptist Church or My Own Bible, visit becauseofcalvary.com. 6-all is our score here at The Rock. Coach, let's get your take on this first half. It's been a really, really good game.
Yeah, the teams are doing the same thing. They're establishing their offense, and then they're stepping on their foot and getting penalties, putting the ball on the ground, fumbling the ball, whatever, and then they've had to punt it away. And that, if you say that about Portsmouth, I can flip the script and say that about West as well.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't mention it at the end of the half, but West had a guy wide open. They put a 2x2 out there, and they just run a little post fade behind him, and the fade was wide open, and they just didn't have time to get rid of it. That's what Portsmouth's coaching staff is going to have to contend themselves with, because this quarterback from West, when he does get time, we saw last week, he's a pretty daggone good quarterback. I think a lot of him, he can run it too if he can't get it off. But overall, I think it's going to be, I don't think there's a whole lot of adjustments to make. I think teams are doing what they do best, what they've done all summer in their scrimmages in their first game, and they're going to come out and see who can out-execute it. Could boil down to depth, could boil down to a costly penalty at the wrong time. So, Portsmouth's going to get the ball right off the bat this time, and maybe see if they can establish some field position. And I know West offensive or special teams coordinators telling these guys, we got to keep them inside 25 or 30-yard line, fellas. So it's now a chess match, and just see who made the adjustment, or sometimes adjustments aren't needed to see who's going to win the ball game. I think it's still up in the air. I don't think either team dominated the other. Pretty even ball game.
Very even, and the score certainly indicates that, with the score tied at 6 apiece between West and Portsmouth here at The Rock. Matt Payton is going to be joining us here in a short while to provide us with the first half stats. Got a couple of really interesting stories to share. I'm sure many of you heard that it was announced late Wednesday and yesterday morning it was relayed that the Green Bobcats football team was not able to play its game tonight. They had to cancel because of some injuries within the program. They originally were going to play Southeastern Ross, and Notre Dame was going to play West Union. Well, when the Green and Southeastern Ross game got canceled, then Notre Dame picked up Southeastern Ross. They're playing tonight. Notre Dame leads 14-9. I found out earlier today a little bit more about the reason the Green game got canceled. Jim Walker of the Ironton Tribune doing a great story on this. There was an auto accident the other day as 5 Green Bobcat football players were in the same vehicle. They all attend the Scioto County Career Technical Center. They were leaving the vocational school to return to Franklin Furnace for football practice, and they were involved in a horrendous crash. Car upside down, caught on fire. There was a young man, Braden Bosa. He was one of the few folks in the car, to my understanding, that was not knocked unconscious. Some of the other passengers were. The car caught fire, gas tank ruptured. He got his pocket knife, peeled away the airbags, and dragged out his teammates individually to safety. And to my understanding, shortly after he pulled all 4 out and the 5 players were off to the side, the car exploded, burning from one end to the other. So first and foremost, we are so thankful that those young men are going to be all right. I spoke with the Green Athletic Director, Jared Shaw, earlier today, and I'm sure there's some bumps and bruises, but they're going to be back and hopefully be playing football here in the next couple of weeks. But thoughts and prayers go out to those 5 kids and their families and all the people associated with them there in the Green School District. And hopefully we've got those guys healthy and back on the football field very, very soon for the Bobcats. But boy, what an amazing story. And also a little earlier today here at West High School, the 2025 West Hall of Fame class was announced. The group included the likes of Tori Leader out of the 2013 class. She's the all-time leading scorer at West for boys and girls basketball with 1,645 points. She went on and played college basketball at Ohio Dominican. Steve Minery was from the class of 1968. He was a 3-sport star in all conference in each sport his sophomore, junior, and senior years. Pound for pound, one of the greatest football players from Portsmouth West, they say, here in Senator Country. Chris Rapp, class of 1981, baseball coach here from 1993 through 2002, and then a second tour duty from 09 to 2016. His teams compiled 345 wins during his time. He won numerous sectional district and had also several regional appearances. Just an incredible guy who still works here in the school district. And also our longtime colleague, Roger Gray, class of 1962, the voice of Southern Ohio sports, calling more than 1,500 games for all area high school in Scioto County and for Shawnee State University. Of course, Raj, Coach, we know well. You worked with him many years as a coach and broadcaster, having that relationship. Of course, I worked under him for many years, passed away a few years ago. But, boy, very, very deserving of that honor. Congrats to the late Roger Gray and all the inductees of the 2025 West Hall of Fame class. Right now, our halftime score is the West Senators 6, the Portsmouth Trojans 6. We'll take a timeout and be back to take a look at the first half stats. This is our halftime report presented by My Bible app and Calvary Baptist Church on Mix 99.3.
At Clark's Pump and Shop, you can fill your tank and tummy. Fantastic food, hot coffee, and cold beverages. Pay at the pump and drive-through convenience. Always clean, always courteous.
Aw, thank you.
Visit the Clark's Pump and Shop nearest you with locations in Scioto, Pike, Lawrence, Jackson, Greenup, Lewis, and Boyd counties. Look for Clark's Marathon and Arco stations. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Penn Station East Coast Subs is a proud supporter of local high school sports and is always as fresh as the next play. With taste, quality, and generous portions, there's absolutely nothing quite like the Philly cheesesteak, the club, the Reuben chicken teriyaki, or the Italian. With great service and a friendly smile, Penn Station invites you in for lunch, dinner, or after the game and movie. And when you need a quality and healthy taste fix, it's Penn Station East Coast Subs, your first stop on the left into the viaduct, where at Penn Station, it's all about good taste.
The McKinley Funeral Home has built a reputation for service over the years. Folks in this area know that the McKinley Funeral Home is a proud member of the Lucasville community. In your hour of need, you'll find them compassionate and caring, serving families in our area since 1937. That's the McKinley Funeral Home. Call them in your hour of need. The McKinley Funeral Home, Lucasville, since 1937.
Harris Floor Covering, located at 610 9th Street, Portsmouth, is the area's leading floor covering contractor. Harris Floor Covering has everything for your home or business, including resilient tile, sheet flooring, quarry tile, ceramic tile, outdoor floors, industrial floors, carpet, acoustic ceiling, underlayment, and more. Call Stephen Harris at 740-353-7959 or 740-352-9212. Harris Floor Covering, proud supporters of the youth of the area.
Tonight's game on Mix 99.3 is brought to you in part by these following sponsors: AJ's Auto Sales, Bell's Body Shop, and Coleman Sanitation Services. Be listening to high school sports all season long on Mix 99.3.
The Carpenters Local Union 437 is actively seeking apprentices and journeyman carpenters. Your pay is based on your experience, but you'll start out earning a good living wage with health care and pension. The Carpenters Union takes an earn-as-you-learn approach to their apprenticeship, ensuring you earn a good living wage with benefits for your family right from the start. And every apprentice will graduate with an associate degree. To learn more about joining your local Carpenters Union, contact Trampus Puckett at Carpenters Local 437. Phone 740-354-7518. Halls, Napa, and Wheatersburg wishes the best to all local teams and proudly commends the hard work put forth by our local high school athletes. Halls Napa is Scioto County's oldest running, family-owned Napa Auto Parts store, and the folks at Halls appreciate all of their loyal customers. Halls Napa carries auto parts and fluids, Milwaukee power tools, wipers, batteries, jump boxes, and more. Visit Halls Napa Auto Parts at 11774 Gallia Pike Road in Wheatersburg. And be sure to check out Halls Napa on Facebook.
Why is Southern Ohio Medical Center Urology Associates the perfect choice for you? It starts with the expert care of board-certified urologist Dr. Stephen Willems, followed by a variety of procedures offered right in the office, which means no hospital stay and a quicker recovery. Along with general urology care, SOMC Urology Associates also offers the latest in advanced treatments for enlarged prostate, including UroLift and Aquablation, board-certified expertise and the latest procedures in prostate care. SOMC Urology Associates is the perfect choice. Call us at 740-356-4URO today.
Don't spend thousands of dollars on marketing that doesn't work. Appalachian Marketing Media can grow your business with targeted marketing strategies, tactics, and resources that actually do work. Appalachian Marketing Media sells market-friendly websites that are designed to convert traffic into clients. Appalachian Marketing Media provides superior customer service and will quickly respond to any of your website needs. With packages starting at $2,000, contact Appalachian Marketing Media on Facebook and learn more on their website.
At halftime, the West Senators and the Portsmouth Trojans are all tied at 6. This is the My Own Bible App halftime show brought to you by the Calvary Baptist Church. Matt, let's check the first half stats.
All right, first half stats. First, we'll start with the visitors on the scoreboard, the Portsmouth Trojans. Trojans had 6 first downs, all 6 on the ground. They're 1 of 5 on third down conversions, 1 of 2 on fourth down. They have 66 total yards of offense, negative 4 yards in the air, 70 yards on the ground. 6 penalties for 54 yards, and their time of possession was 11 minutes and 54 seconds. Individual stats, Marquise Locklear is 1 for 2 passing for negative 4 yards. Fernando Posey was the one who caught that pass for negative 4 yards. Running the ball for the Trojans, Marquise Locklear has 9 carries for 28 yards, a 3.11 average. Fernando Posey's 11 carries, 55 yards, a 5-yard per carry average, and a touchdown. Now let's take a look at the first downs and team stats for the Portsmouth West Senators. Senators had 11 first downs on the evening, 9 rushing and 2 from penalties, 0 for 3 on third down, and they haven't tried anything on fourth down conversions yet. Senators have 102 yards total offense, with 10 yards passing and 92 yards rushing. They have 5 penalties for 34 yards, and their time of possession was 11 minutes and 7 seconds. Individual stats for the Senators, Brody Hall is 2 of 5 passing for 10 yards. His 2 receptions and targets, Gunnar Sonkweiler 1 for 2, and Brady Atkins 1 for 1 for 8, sorry. Running for the Senators, we had Wesleyan Ratcliffe, 2 carries, 11 yards, 5.5 carry average. Braden Atkins, 2 for negative 11. Brody Hall, 5 carries, negative 2 yards. And Anthony Bishop, 12 carries, 94 yards, 7.83 yards per carry, and a touchdown. Chuck, let's get into an important stat, the turnovers.
The turnover report is a service of the Barrett Murphy Insurance Agency at 1031 Gallia Street in Portsmouth. Isn't it time you turned your insurance needs over to Barrett Murphy? Give Dan Cassidy a call at 353-3121.
Ball's hit the ground a couple times, but there's been no turnovers here in this game so far.
Pretty clean, pretty clean. 6-all the score. You have been listening to the My Own Bible halftime show brought to you by Calvary Baptist Church. We'll get the second half rolling when we return. 6-all Portsmouth and Portsmouth West. This is high school football on Mix 99.3.
High school football on this Total Media Group station is presented by Portsmouth Block and Portsmouth Building Supply, People's Bank, Real Estate Gallery, Little's Septic Service, Little's Grease Trap Removal, Little's Excavating, and Mr. Reuter Plumbing, the Counseling Center, Clark's Pump and Shop, First State Bank, the Minford IGA, Westside IGA, and Westside Hardware, Appalachian Marketing Media, and Dyer Insurance.
Gamp's Corner, Route 140 in Slocum, is the perfect way to start the day. The BP convenience store opens the doors at 5:30 with home-cooked breakfast, coffee, and that first smile of the day. Everything from groceries, pop candy, bread, milk, or fertilizer. They've even got an ATM for fast cash. Starting at 11 o'clock, enjoy delicious homemade pizza cooked to order. And remember, the BP convenience store will also deliver your home heating, fuel, and kerosene. Your one-stop shop for everything is the BP convenience store, Route 140 in Slocum, where it's good and green, both sides of the street.
The area knows that when looking for a sharp used vehicle, it's time to give Coles a call. Coles Auto Sales in West Portsmouth has been so blessed by the community and all their loyal customers that they want to take a day and give back. This Friday, June 6th, between 11 and 1, everyone's welcome to visit Coles Auto Sales, 16127 US 52 West Portsmouth, and enjoy a free lunch provided by K&J's Rollin' Smoke Barbecue. Mix 99.3 will be there live. And remember, when you're looking for a sharp used vehicle with convenient financing, give Coles a call. 740-357-6009.
Your tire store shouldn't remind you of a three-ring circus, so head to a dealer who's serious about quality. Michelin offers the most fuel-efficient line of tires on the road and provides exceptional, long-lasting performance. BF Goodrich tires are built for drivers looking for high performance and aggressive styling. Forget the circus. See the tire experts.
See Bob and Floyd's Tire Sales at the corner of routes 23 South at 52 West on Chillicothe Street, Portsmouth.
category testing based on SAE J1269 rolling resistance industry practice.
Visit your local groceries, the Minford IGA and Westside IGA, as well as Westside Hardware. At the Minford and Westside IGAs, you'll find full-service delis with fresh-cut Angus beef and daily lunch specials. The Westside IGA offers up an incredible 18-inch pizza special, which provides a 2-topping 18-inch pizza, a bag of chips, and a 2-liter, all for just $19.99. Right beside the Westside IGA is Westside Hardware. They've got all kinds of tools and fasteners, as well as an extensive amount of items pertaining to automotive, carpentry, plumbing, and heating and air. The Minford IGA, Westside IGA, and Westside Hardware open 7 days a week.
Hello, this is Megan Martin, Banking Center Manager at First State Bank. At First State Bank, we believe that when we build up our customers, our communities, and each other, we can make a lifelong difference. When you bank with us, you're supporting the local coffee shop down the street, a young couple's first home, and the community you live in. Stop in at our Portsmouth Banking Center or visit our website at fsb4me.com. That's FSB4me.com. First State Bank, built on belief. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Jay Hash with Hope Source. Hope Source helps individuals and families live complete, meaningful, and happy lives. We offer a full array of high-quality mental health and addiction treatment services to meet the individual needs of every person we serve. In every interaction, we provide the care we would expect for our closest friends or loved ones. No matter your situation, there is hope. For information, check out our website at hopesourcetreatment.com. Find us on Facebook or call 740-353-HOPE.
High school football on this Total Media Group station is presented by Portsmouth Block and Portsmouth Building Supply, People's Bank, the Real Estate Gallery, Conley Trucking and Conley River Terminal, the Scioto County Career Technical Center, Carpenters Local Union 437, the Glockner Family of Dealerships, Gamps John Deere and Convenience Store, SOMC, Portsmouth Insurance, Monroe's Frame and Collision, the McKinley Funeral Home, as well as Collier Companies.
A remodel can be exciting like a walk down the red carpet, or it can be exciting like a stroll over hot coals. If you're going to do a remodel, do it right. Consult with a Waypoint Living Spaces dealer designer. They will work with you to determine your style and deliver exactly what you had in mind. On time, on budget, easy.
Tri-State Kitchens at 8516 Ohio River Road, Wheelersburg is your local Waypoint dealer. Phone 740-574-2802. Since 1964, Little Septic Service in Wheelersburg has been dedicated to providing dependable septic service. Little serves Pike, Scioto, and all surrounding counties. Besides installing septic systems and cleaning out septic tanks, Little's does septic system renewal permit inspections. So when you receive a letter from your local health department telling you it's renewal time, just call Little Septic Service at 740-574-2033. From little problems to major issues, you can depend on Little Septic.
You're tuned in to high school football on Mix 99.3 WNXT Portsmouth. The West Senators and the Portsmouth Trojans are all tied at 6 as we get set to begin the second half of play. To my left is Coach Kirk Clifford. To my right is Matt Payton. I'm Chuck Greenslade. Thanks for tuning in to tonight's ball game. Christian Carrasco has the football teed up and is getting set to boot it away to the Trojans. Cameron Williams back deep to return for PHS, along with Leland Skurlock, who has been battling cramps throughout the evening. Skurlock's going to field this kickoff at the 15-yard line. He has room right up the seam in between the hashes and the numbers, maintains his balance after being hit around the 35-yard line, and fights his way out to near the 40. A really good return. And as I had mentioned, he has gone down twice tonight with cramps, once in the second half, and then he went down to the ground again as he was going to the locker room at the end of the first half. So they've got that left calf stretched out at least for the time being, and Leland Skurlock, the 5'11", 150-pound senior, has himself a nice return here as he brings the ball out to the 39-yard line, 24 yards on the run back.
Nice little run back for Skurlock.
Most certainly was. Trips to the left. The slot receiver comes in motion to the near side. That's Williams. Here's the give to Pocius up the middle. Pocius starts right now, cuts back to the center, lunges out across the 45-yard line to the 46. A gain of 7 on the play to set up second down and 3. That opening kickoff of the second half was presented by Harris Floor Covering at 610 9th Street in Portsmouth, as well as Harris Outdoors at 616 9th Street in Portsmouth. Harris Floor Covering is the area's leading floor covering contractor. They've got everything for all your floor covering needs. Give Stephen Harris a call at 353-7959 and visit Harris Outdoors for firearms and hunting equipment, especially as we move toward hunting season. Here's Pocius up the gut. Not a whole lot here. Nice defense by the interior defensive line of the West Senators. Maybe a foot. That'll be about it. It's going to be 3rd down and 3. Good battle up front between the offensive and defensive lines that we're seeing on the field right now. Again, that Portsmouth offensive line consisting of Jonathan Carter, Wesley Runyon, Charles Fletcher, Nick Donnelly, and Alex Martinez. On the defensive front for West is Austin Ramsey, Carson Carver, Zane Pitts. Here is the give to Pocius. Gets to the first wave of defenders, and he's going to have the first down as Pocius moves the ball across the 50 to the 49-yard line of the Senators. Great individual effort. The blocking was by no means bad, but, Coach, that was a really good effort there by Fernando Pocius.
Well, he got past the first line.
Sure did.
The first line, but you know what? That's not a knock on West, because West guys were playing extremely low to the ground. And when they do that, they're not going to make many tackles, Chuck. So that they do that to clear it up for the linebackers.
Pocius very shifty. He gets 4 on that last play to give the Trojans a fresh set of 4 downs. Here is a little swing pass to Williams, who motioned to the near side. He makes a reception. A flag goes flying as Williams goes out of bounds inside of the 45-yard line, but let's check the penalty. 6-all the score with 10-11 left to play in the 3rd period. Portsmouth scored first back in the 1st period. West answered with a touchdown in the 2nd. And that's where we have gotten to where we are. The score all even. The penalty's going to go against the Trojans, and this will back PHS up to its own side of the 50.
Back to the 44.
Did you guys catch what that penalty was?
I was watching it. There was a hold call.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it looked like they maybe thought it was a little bit downfield a little bit. By the way, that's like Cameron Williams' first target, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I figured he'd get more touches.
He's too valuable not to.
Trips to the left, one receiver to the right, and flags go flying. A false start on the Trojans, so Portsmouth continues to shoot toes off after another drive started with pretty good field position and a lot of promise after a couple of nice plays early on.
What was that script thing we were talking about earlier, Coach?
Well, you know what? We all try to sugarcoat everything, but they better start having a little bit of mental discipline.
Trips to the left. Here is a give to D. Parker, and he's not able to get the edge. Good containment by the Senator defense, and Parker will be dropped for a loss back at the 37-yard line.
So Zane Evans and Bo Roten were there.
Boy, Bo Roten had a big game defensively last week in the win over Fairland for the West Senators.
He's got 8 tackles already.
He had a dozen last week. Tilton Rapp had 15 in last week's West win, including a sack, which preserved the victory. It is 2nd down and 24 for the Portsmouth Trojans. Out of the gun, Locklear takes a snap, rolls to his right, under duress, pressure coming. Locklear gets the pass away, and it is caught. Locklear took a big hit on that play, but he does get the pass away to Williams, a minimal gain. As a matter of fact, it might have been a loss on that play.
I think he lost one.
A completion for a loss. Tell you what, you go back through the stats from last week and tonight, Portsmouth has completed quite a few passes for negative yardage. Of course, in that particular instance there, Locklear was just running for his life.
Chuck, they're 2 of 3 for negative 5 yards.
Yeah.
Both completed passes have been negative. A screen pass and then that pass there.
That was Tilton Rapp getting in there to apply the big hit on Locklear. 3rd down and long after a loss of 1 on that play. Snap hits the ground. Locklear picks it up, steps up into the pocket, throws, and it is caught by Parker. Left side, sidesteps one defender, and he's going to be brought down after a pickup of about 2. Good defense again by West as the Senators swarm to the football. Also, props to D. Parker evading that one tackler, though, who was trying to lower the boom on him, and he got olayed. But there were several other Senator defenders over there to stop Parker for a very short gain. It's 4th down and 22 after a 3-yard pickup moments ago. Fernando Pocius, a late check-in, as the punting unit is on the field for the Trojans. This is Roth in punt formation. Bishop back to return. Snap is on target. Here's the punt. It's a high, wobbly boot. Bishop's going to get away from it. It will hit at the 32-yard line, bounce to the 30, and then reverse course. And the Trojans will down it at the 31-yard line. That's Pocius down there to pick up the football with Cason Myers right beside of him. That's where this West Senator drive will begin in this 6-6 contest with 7:58 remaining in the third quarter. We want to say hello to not only our Mix 99.3 listeners tonight, but our viewers watching the game, courtesy of Appalachian Marketing Media.
Hello out there.
Hello. I'm Chuck Greenslade along with Matt Payton and Coach Kurt Clifford. We have witnessed a very, very good football game tonight. Seems like here at the Rock, Matt, they only have entertaining games. That was certainly the case last week with West holding on for a 3-point win over Fairland. Last year, the Senators went into the locker room trailing on 4 separate occasions and came back to win. Here's a give to the fullback, Rodent, and Roten will plow his way to the 35-yard line for a gain of 4 to set up second down and 6. Making the stop for the Portsmouth Trojans is Logan Thurman, a 5'10", 208-pound junior. Clock rolling inside of 8 minutes to play here in quarter number 3.
So, do you think this first drive for West will be mostly on the ground?
So far, that's the case. Here's Bishop out of the eye, deep back, looks for some room right side. He'll be brought down just shy of the 40. Over there to make the stop for the Portsmouth Trojans is Trevin Brooks. But another nice gain for Bishop. It's going to be 3rd down and 2 after a 3-yard pickup, and it looks like there's another Trojan down with a cramp, one of the big linemen. So he'll be tended to, being helped out by a few of his teammates while the trainers quickly make it over to the scene. While we have a moment, let me remind you that we will have the Saturday morning sports line tomorrow on WNXT2 using the Local Happenings app. Hopefully, AM 1260 and 95.7 FM will be operable very, very soon. I know we've been saying that so much that we sound like an old broken record, but we're really hoping that it's up and running tomorrow. That's what we have been told by our engineers, so fingers crossed. Since 1979, the Saturday morning sports line has provided our area's coaches a platform to talk about their teams and players. Had the program live at Buffalo Wild Wings last Saturday. It was a great time. Big thanks to the Schmidt family restaurants and B-Dubs.
How were the wings?
They were phenomenal, as they always are on the day of the sports line. You guys missed it, but I ate some for you.
I hope so.
Hopefully you appreciate that. But yeah, we had 8 of Scioto County's 9 varsity football coaches in attendance this past Saturday, and hopefully we'll hear from most of them again tomorrow on WNXT2 using the Local Happenings app. Also, be sure to listen for the Barber Auto Parts replay of the week all week long here on Mix 99.3, Classic Rock 107.5 The Breeze, as well as Fox Sports with AM 1260 and 95.7 FM when operable again. Visit the Barber Auto Parts locations nearest you with stores in Portsmouth, Ashland, and Chillicothe. Portsmouth Trojan player is up. He has made his way to the sideline. He's good. I formation, and that play is blown up. It is Brooks again, devouring Bishop in the backfield, ripping his helmet off. What a play. My goodness, that's a loss of 2 on that down, and that is a defender's dream. You dream of taking off somebody's helmet and dropping him for a loss. What a play. Trevin Brooks, the 5'11", 218-pound senior. I think we might have found a Monroe's Framing Collision, big collision of the game.
He has a helmet, a souvenir.
Man, he'll get a T-shirt and maybe that West helmet. No, he's got to give that back to Anthony Bishop. But man, Coach, what a play that was. Here is a punt by Carrasco.
They called timeout.
It's a low line drive. It's going to hit at the 28-yard line and be picked up by Skurlock over on the far sideline. He reverses course, brings it all the way to the near side of the field before going out of bounds at the 36-yard line, about 10 on the return. And making the stop for West was Keegan Salem. The Portsmouth assistant coaches in the booth right beside of us were certainly pleading for a timeout before the ball was snapped, but I don't think it got relayed to the field quickly enough, or if it did, the officials did not see it. I think
Trevin Brooks was in the guy's face on timeout.
And Coach Cobb is out on the field right now saying what you are just saying, Coach, to one of the officials who obviously didn't see it.
Well, yeah, they didn't. They didn't see it. You can see it from up here. Trevin just walked over to the top of the number and was calling timeout.
Well, I think they had too many men on the field.
They did, and that's why Trevin was calling timeout.
And that's why nothing moved down marker or anything.
The officials are talking it over at the 47-yard line of Portsmouth.
If they mark this off, that'll be a first down for West.
Yep.
But that should not. That's West should have to punt the ball again.
We're going to have a do-over?
Have to. Portsmouth called timeout.
So the official is pointing toward Portsmouth. He's not mic'd up. He's talking as if he is. If he is mic'd up, I can't hear him.
Oh, it's going to be first down.
Okay,
West.
so they're going to call the penalty evidently on Portsmouth. Too many men on the field. 5-yard penalty, first down West.
That's just a bad call, Chuck. You can't sugarcoat that.
Yeah,
But here's the thing. Why are they getting the ball all the way out to 48?
Ooh, yeah. It should be a 5-yard penalty, right?
Should it not?
Yeah, they marked off, what, 10?
Longer than that. The line of scrimmage is 37.
So that's a 15-yard penalty they just got. Well, maybe something happened that we didn't see.
That's the only explanation I can think to why it's now at the 48. Because 15 yards from the 37 is 48.
And if somebody, just hypothetical, I have no idea, but if somebody was lobbying too hard, we'll say that a timeout should have been called. That should have been dead ball after the exchange of possession. So it happened obviously before the snap or during the play, but as it is, it's 1st and 10 for the West Senators at the 48-yard line of the Trojans. And here's a give to the fullback, Bo Roten, who will plow his way down to the 45-yard line for a gain of 3 to set up 2nd down and 7. Under 6 minutes to play in the third period here at the Rock, where the score is dead even at 6. Roden's going to check out of the game. Quarterback Brody Hall came over to the sideline to get the play call. Now he'll return to the huddle and relay that message to his teammates. West breaks the huddle and comes to the line. 2 receivers are flanked out wide to the right, a receiver and a wing to the left. Hall in the shotgun with Bishop to his right. Atkins motions to the near side. Skurlock on the defensive side for Portsmouth goes along with him. Bishop's going to get the handoff. Flag goes flying. Bishop hitting the backfield, and he avoided a couple tacklers, but the waves of Portsmouth defenders just continued to roll in and crash up against Bishop before dropping him for a loss. And another flag.
His teammate was telling him, just be quiet.
Yeah.
And
well, this is a key component, a key element of the game here is composure. Yeah. And right now, Portsmouth's got to maintain it. Obviously, they feel they should have had a timeout before that punt a few moments ago. They're mad because they didn't get it. And now, can they keep their stuff together? Because otherwise, they could hurt themselves even more.
I think they called a holding on the offense originally, maybe.
Well, we got a false start on the West offense, then we have a face mask on the Portsmouth defense, and here comes a third penalty. Unsportsmanlike conduct, dead ball on Portsmouth. So the first 2 penalties should offset. The dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty will give West a first down. That'll be 15. 3 flags on 1 play. So now the ball will be at the 34-yard line of the Trojans. West with first down and 10. And this tie ball game with 5:13 left to play in the third quarter. Braden Atkins is going to line up as a receiver into the boundary. That's the short side of the field. One receiver is wide to the right, I formation, tight end to the left. Hall under center for this 1st and 10 play. He takes the snap. He's going to turn around and give to Bishop, hit around the line, spins away, fights his way forward, and gets to near the 30-yard line. That was a nice play there by Bishop. One of his offensive linemen actually got stood up in a stalemate right at the line of scrimmage, and Bishop ran into his back and was able to spin away from that and then dodge another tackler. And Bishop's helmet is off again. If you recall, it got ripped off earlier in this drive, courtesy of a big hit from Portsmouth's Trevin Brooks, and there might be an issue with that helmet. You hate to see that coming off as easily as it is. There might be a little chin strap tightening going on over there with that helmet of Bishop.
Pump some air maybe, too.
Mm-hmm. 2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard gain. Ball on the left hash mark. 4.5 minutes left on a moving third quarter clock. Hall in the pistol. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and a Trojan jumps prematurely. False start, and that will give West 5. You know, that's going to go on Trevin Brooks, and you just wonder, after that great play he made earlier on in this drive, I'm sure that was a blitz that got timed up perfectly. As I said at the time of that hit, that's a defender's dream. Sometimes when that type of play occurs for you, you get hungry to do it again, and he got a little too hungry that time.
Coach and Chuck, right now Portsmouth has 11 penalties for 98 yards, and they have 78 yards of total offense.
2nd down and 2. Here's a give. And the ball carrier will speed his way down inside the 15-yard line. That is Weston Ratcliffe, the 5'9", 170-pound freshman. I believe that's the second time he's touched the football tonight. He sets the West Senators up 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line after he rips off a gain of 12. And boy, he showed a speed burst on that play, did he not?
He has a little bit of juice to him at the end of that.
With that, the Senators move into the Quality Heating and Air red zone. Here is the give to Bishop, back up the middle, working right side. Bishop will fight his way down inside the 10-yard line to the 8. That's good for a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down. Phil Wright out at Quality Heating and Air. His location is just down the road, US 52 from West High School in Sugar Grove.
And with that carry, Bishop now over 100 yards. 16 carries, 103 yards.
You mentioned Portsmouth's 72 yards of offense. I can't help but think that probably 80% of them occurred in the first quarter.
78.
High formation. It's Bishop. Nothing up the middle, but he bounces it out, trying to get to the edge, and he's going to be strung out and driven out of bounds. That was a really nice job there by the Trojan defense. Bishop was able to lunge forward and maybe get 1, possibly 2, but I thought there at first when he initially bounced that ball off right tackle that he had something and maybe an opportunity to get to the corner and find the pylon, but not to be. The Trojan defenders closed the gap in a hurry. J.J. Henderson over there at left corner, maintaining his spot, and the defensive ends and linebackers quickly hurrying over to help him out. That left defensive end is Kason Myers, and Fernando Pocius is the linebacker over there, and they all played a big role in stringing that play out and limiting Bishop to a gain of 2. Big 3rd down and 3 here for the Senators. Ball on the right hash mark. 2 receivers left. 2 players from the right side of the formation will shift over to the left. That's a tight end in the wing. Design quarterback keeper. Hall looking for some room left side. Cuts it up. Nothing. Nowhere to go. Another nice defensive stop by the Trojans. Looks to be no gain on the play. It'll be 4th down and 3.
Landon Malone, Kason Myers on the stop.
So, will Coach Todd Gilliland keep the offensive unit out there? Last week, the kicker, Eli Blevins, a 5'9", 145-pound freshman, was perfect on all of his extra points, but he did miss the PAT he attempted earlier in this game.
Coach, you think they're going to go for a hard count here?
I have no idea.
4th down and 4. Pistol formation. 2 receivers to each way. Adkins comes in motion to the left, and we do have movement. False start. If that's against Portsmouth, that's a free 1st down. Let's check the call. It looks like it's going to be 1st and goal Senators after the Trojans jump offsides. Encroachment on the defense. And that will move the ball down to the 3-yard line. And West will have 4 opportunity. No, it's half the distance to the goal. I beg your pardon, and that is not a 1st down. It's 4th down and inches. Half the distance to the goal. So 4th down and inches, not a 1st down for the Senators. The officials wind the clock. We have 2:25 remaining in the 3rd period. Score all tied at 6. A receiver out wide left. 1 wide right. I formation. Whistle sound. Timeout taken by the West offense. We'll step away for 60 seconds ourselves. This is high school football on Mix 99.3.
SOMC is proud to introduce the redesigned practice of the SOMC Orthopedic Associates. The improvements integrate orthopedic surgery, physical medicine and rehabilitation, and podiatry into a single comprehensive office. These key specialties work together to deliver coordinated, patient-centered care. By streamlining services, SOMC aims to enhance communication among providers. Comprehensive care for a body in motion. Call 740-356-1709 to schedule an appointment.
Down on Route 52, just west of town, there's a little place where the word gets around. Quality Heating and Air's got your back. For sales and service, they're right on track. I see out in Portsmouth, they're the name to trust. When the air goes down, they'll lift you up.
Call Quality Heating and Air at 740-858-4363.
Fourth down and inches for the West Senators with the ball resting at the 4-yard line of the Trojans. I formation. A receiver each way, a tight end to the right. Hall takes a snap, gives to Bishop, picks his way up the center and into the end zone. Touchdown, Senators. And with that, West has its first lead of the evening, 12-6. West leads Portsmouth, or do they? Hold up. There's a conversation going on back around the line of scrimmage. I don't see a flag.
He's saying he lost a shoe.
Okay, that's all it was. All right. That was some scary body language there for a moment, because it looked like a West Senator was lobbying with an official about something. Evidently, he was just trying to find a shoe. Bishop finds 6 points, and West has found the lead. 12-6 is where we stand, and now let's see if we see an extra point try, or will the offensive unit stay out there for a 2-point? Yep, that's exactly what they're going to do, Coach. West has chosen to snap the ball from the left hash mark. 2 receivers left. A pair of receivers to the right. Pistol formation. Atkins goes in motion to the right. Hall awaits the snap. Takes it. Looks to throw. Looking. Firing over the middle. Pass incomplete. Intended for Atkins. A little too tall was the pass. Couldn't connect with Atkins on the slant. 2-point conversion try fails, but West succeeds in getting a touchdown, and the Senators have a 12-6 lead with 2:16 left to play in the third quarter. There's been a change in the score. Changes happen quick, especially when you get your tires changed at Bob and Floyd's on Chillicothe Street in Portsmouth. This is high school football on Mix 99.3.
Midford Telephone and TV, the local choice, the best choice. Your internet experts with fiber, fast efficiency. Generations of exceptional service. Stay connected with a legacy. Online at falcon1.net. Midford Telephone and TV, the local choice, the best choice.
At the Barrett Murphy Insurance Agency, they're proud to cheer for the home team, and even more proud to have you on their team. Whether you need insurance for your home, car, or business, they have your back. And because the local community is so important to them, they'll be right there with you, cheering for your team. Contact the Barrett Murphy Insurance Agency today for more information about a policy from Encova Insurance. Visit the Barrett Murphy Insurance Agency at 1031 Gallia Street in Portsmouth. Online at barrettmurphin.com.
Back to play at the Rock, where the West Senators have just moved ahead of the Portsmouth Trojans 12-6. The kickoff just a few moments ago by Christian Carrasco was a squibber that was fielded off the bounce by Landon Malone, and the senior drops down wisely at the 27-yard line, and that's where this Trojan drive will begin with 2:14 remaining in the third period. After this first down snap, we will check the scoring recap, which is a service of Nancy Hawk at the Real Estate Gallery with locations in both Wheelersburg and Portsmouth. Give Nancy a call for all of your real estate needs, 574-9902, or log on to realestategallery.com. Here is Marquez Locklear, the Trojan quarterback, making a handoff to Pocious and looking for some room up the center of the field, and he won't get much. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that is all. No gain on the play. It's second down and 10. Matt, as promised, let's check that West Senator scoring drive.
That scoring drive by the Senators was a 12-play, 69-yard drive. 4:59 came off the clock. It was a touchdown run by Anthony Bishop from 4 yards out. Extra 2-point conversion was no good. 12-6, third quarter.
Ball near the right hash mark. 4 wide for Locklear and the Trojans. Pocious is the deep back out of the pistol. Locklear wants to throw. Looks left now, runs to the right. He's going to pull it down and go with it. Locklear. A flag goes flying as he goes out of bounds near the 35. That is thrown in the vicinity of a hold, but we will await the official word before we relay that. Don't want to make any assumptions.
Preliminary, it says hold.
1:31 left in the third period. It's 12-6, the West Senators lead, and it is indeed a holding call on the Portsmouth Trojans. Well, for the second week in a row, PHS has been flagged in excess of 10 times. And I know there's some inexperience out on the field, but I'm sure that's something that Coach Cobb and his staff is going to strive diligently to improve upon as the season progresses. Going to have to. It's hard enough to get the better of the person across from you when you're hurting yourself as well. That adds to the degree of difficulty.
13 penalties, 107 yards.
This penalty moves the ball back to the 21-yard line. It's second down and 17. Locklear out of the gun, rolls left, fires on the move. Pass caught over on the far sideline, and a big hit over there as the receiver was bobbing and weaving, trying to find some room, and Bishop comes up and lowers the boom on that Portsmouth Trojan receiver, which is Caleb Johnson, the 6', 176-pound senior. We've talked about Bishop all night with the great offensive plays he had. Anthony Bishop making a nice stop there on defense. Bishop, a 5'8", 196-pound junior. Bishop was on the receiving end of a big hit from Brooks a little earlier in this quarter, and he was on the other side of it this go-around. It's much better to give than it is to receive when it comes to Christmas presents and big hits. Here's Locklear, third and long, rolling right. Nobody open, and Locklear will be run out of bounds. It'll be 4th down for the Trojans. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play, but it will be 4th down and 12 and another punting situation for PHS. 26.2 seconds. All that remain here in the third quarter with West leading by a touchdown. 12-6 to score.
So gain of 2 for Locklear as he got out of bounds.
Jacob Roth will come on to punt for Portsmouth. All of his punts tonight have been high, either end over end or very wobbly punts. They haven't gone that far in distance, but they also have not provided Anthony Bishop an opportunity at a return, and I think that's what Portsmouth is striving for.
He's averaging 39 yards a punt right now.
He's getting good bounces, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And this one's a little bit low. It's wobbly. It will hit at the 42-yard line. Bishop's going to field this one, but he'll go nowhere. Great coverage by Portsmouth. It was Dontavian Parker down there to make that stop after a 1-yard gain on the return. There is a flag down right around where Bishop fielded the ball. Oh, and it's against the Trojans. You can just tell by the body language. So what was going to be pretty good West starting field position with the ball at the 33-yard line is going to be improved upon. Coach Bruce Cobb out on the numbers wanting an explanation. A face mask on PHS. That's a 15-yarder. So that should move the ball out to around the, actually it's a 5-yarder, 5-yard variety. So that'll move the ball out to the 38-yard line. Not as much damage as what it could have been. Every yard counts. 17.4 seconds, as mentioned, is what we have left here in the third period. West up by a touchdown. Schockweiler's going to flank out wide to the right. Wide to the left is Corbin Miller. Now the rest of the Senators break the huddle and come to the line. A wing to the right, 2 backs in the backfield, 1 to each side of Hull, who is in the gun. He's going to give to his left halfback. This is Bishop hitting the backfield, and he will carry a defender out to the 39-yard line, but only a gain of 1. Nice D by the Trojans, and that's going to be your final play of the third quarter. We head to the fourth. It's West 12, Portsmouth 6. This is high school football on Mix 99.3.
The Counseling Center is the region's leader in youth and adolescent counseling and play therapy services. TCC plays a large role in substance abuse prevention services for area youth, providing more than 4,000 prevention services for area school-age children each year. In operation since 1981, the Counseling Center is the region's leader in behavioral health care, providing everything from substance abuse prevention and recovery to mental health counseling, primary care, vocational development, and job placement services. Learn more online at thecounselingcenter.org. High school football on this Total Media Group station is presented by Portsmouth Block and Portsmouth Building Supply, People's Bank, the Real Estate Gallery, Little's Septic Service, Little's Grease Trap Removal, Little's Excavating, and Mr. Reuter Plumbing. The Counseling Center, Clark's Pump and Shop, First State Bank, the Minford IGA, Westside IGA, and Westside Hardware, Appalachian Marketing Media, and Dyer Insurance.
To the fourth quarter we go at the Rock, where the West Senators have a 12-6 lead over the Portsmouth Trojans. I'm Chuck Greenslate with Coach Kirk Clifford and Matt Payton. West with the football face with 2nd down and 9 from the Senators' own 39-yard line. Here's a give up the middle as West continues to run the ground and pound at the Portsmouth Trojans. Looking to see who the ball carrier was. There were 2 backs in the backfield. It was Ratcliffe again. Yeah, Weston Ratcliffe, the 5'9", 170-pound freshman. Boy, he's become a nice little asset for this West offense.
We fumbled early last week in their game, and when he fumbled, he kind of, I think, was really down on himself. I think it was kind of like, you don't want to overplay him too, or, you know, they want to give him reps, but they also don't want to completely break down on his mental.
Good compliment to Bishop, no doubt. We've got movement up front, a false start, and this is going to go against the West Senators. So Portsmouth has hurt itself a lot throughout this game, especially here in the second half with penalties. But it's West now with a miscue. And this mental mistake will move the Senators back to the original line of scrimmage. It's 3rd down and 10. Boy, think back to the way this game started for West, though. After bobbling the opening kickoff and starting that drive inside their own 10-yard line, they were called for 2 false starts before the first down snap ever took place. And then later on that very first drive before the punt, there was a penalty. 3 penalties on the opening drive, and they've been pretty clean all in all since. Here is Hall firing over the middle. Pass incomplete. That was intended for Adkins.
And Grant.
And that looks to be Skurlock again. Boy, that's the 3rd time he's gone down. He's going to be helped to his feet by Caleb Johnson. But, boy, he's really been struggling with his left calf throughout the course of this game. He had a nice kickoff return to begin the second half, did Skurlock. He's going to stay out there and try to walk it off. He's actually going to drop back in formation to return a punt along with Cameron Williams. And here is the punt from Christian Carrasco. It's a wobbly boot, going to be fielded at the 28 by Williams, and whistle sound stopping the play. Why? Was there a fair catch signaled I didn't see? Yeah, evidently there was, because a penalty dropped. If he signaled for a fair catch and then took off running with it, that would be the reason for the penalty. I didn't see the signal myself, but that's the only thing I can deduce here. Did you guys see anything different?
No.
Did you see him signal for a fair catch?
No.
Me neither. Let's see. That might not be the call, though. Let's
delay a game. That's the call.
That's the call. That's the call. If it happened, it occurred before my eyes locked onto him. I was watching the punt float through the air.
Advancing a fair catch.
But that's what it is, and this will back the Trojans up inside of the 25-yard line. Looks like they're going to put the ball down around the 24. And even though things have not gone Portsmouth's way in this second half, I'm sure Coach Bruce Cobb is reminding his kids that they're only 6 points down.
Yeah.
A touchdown here, and we got a tie ball game, an extra point to follow, and you got the Trojans back in the lead. So this is still very much anybody's ball game with 10:45 left. The Trojan offense going back to work with trips to the right and one receiver to the left. Locklear fakes to Pocius, fires near side pass, incomplete, a little bit behind the intended receiver, Skurlock. So it will be 2nd down and 10. Be sure to tune into the Saturday Morning Sports Line tomorrow on WNXT2 using the Local Happenings app. We'll get that underway at 9 o'clock. Also, a big thank you to our friends at Penn Station East Coast Subs, fueling the WNXT and WZZZ sports crews every weekend by providing us lunch. Visit Penn Station, where they are all about the freshness. Here's the give to Pocius up the middle, and he's got a big hole. Pocius breaks it back to the left, cuts up the middle, takes the ball into Senator territory, and is brought down around the 47-yard line. And boy, did the Trojans ever need that.
Nice run by Pocius.
Big shot of feel good there for PHS, and it comes at an opportune time as Pocius takes the ball to the 46 is where that's spotted. Over 30 yards on that game.
Right at 30.
Great blocking by the Trojan offensive line, and here is Pocius again. He won't go as far this time, but he does move the pile forward, takes the ball inside of the 45-yard line to the 44, gain of 2. Boy, that was a nice play the snap before, Coach. That Trojan offensive line doing a nice job. Martinez, Donnelly, Fletcher, Runyon, and Carter. We've talked about them throughout the course of the evening. Second down and almost 9. Locklear fakes the handoff to Parker, pulls it down, goes right up the gut, and the Trojan QB will move the sticks as he carries the football inside of the 35-yard line down to the 33. That's a gain of 12 and a 1st and 10 for the Portsmouth Trojans, who have their best drive going here in the second half by far.
And that's a nice carry by Locklear. He's up to 41 yards. Pocius is 1 yard away from 100 yards on the night.
Bishop already over 100 for West. We've seen 2. Oh, another big hit. The West Senators stop Parker, I believe, was the ball carrier. It was Tilton Rapp who made that tackle, a 5'10", 192-pound junior. Man, D. Parker with nowhere to go. Tilton Rapp blitzed the right gap at the right time and met Parker a yard and a half deep in the backfield. Loss of 2 on the play, back to the 35-yard line. We have seen some really big hits here in this second half.
So 2nd and 12 now?
We saw Bishop take one from Trevin Brooks, and we saw Bishop give one to Caleb Johnson, and Tilton Rapp with a big hit moments ago on D. Parker. And you are right, Matt. It is 2nd down and 12 for the Trojans. And boy, a play like that can really shift momentum in a hurry. Momentum has been swinging back and forth like a pendulum here in this second half, it seems like. Pistol formation. Locklear gives to Trevin Brooks his first carry of the game. And he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that shall be all. 3rd down and 12 coming up for the Trojans. And we will have a timeout taken by Coach Bruce Cobb and company. We will step away as well. 8:40 left to play in regulation. West leads Portsmouth 12-6. This is high school football on Mix 99.3.
At Clark's Muffin Shop, you'll find fantastic food, hot coffee, cold beverages, and drive-through convenience. Pay at the pump, always clean and courteous.
Thank you.
Download the Clark's app to get signed up for the Clark's Loyalty Rewards program. Earn points with every purchase to redeem cents off gas or free products within the store. Visit the Clark's Muffin Shop nearest you, with locations in Scioto, Pike, Lawrence, Jackson, Greenup, Lewis, and Boyd counties. Look for Clark's Marathon and Arco stations. Clark's Muffin Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
We at Swick Bentley Funeral Home want to help you celebrate the life that inspired you. Whether you have lost a loved one or want to pre-plan your own services, we are here to help. We can help you plan traditional burial or a cremation service, and our staff will work to ease the burden a loss leaves. We may be reached by phone at 740-456-4133 or email at info@sbentleyfh.com. And to all our local
3rd down and 12 for the Trojans as play resumes. Locklear fakes the handoff to Poches. Locklear up the middle, and he will battle his way down to the 30-yard line for a gain of 5. That will bring up 4th down and 7 for the Portsmouth Trojans, who trail at West 12-6 with just under 8.5 minutes left on a moving 4th quarter clock. Chuck Greenslade, Coach Kurt Clifford, and Matt Payton with you tonight on Mix 99.3, as well as online at the AppalachianMarketingMedia.com website for the video stream. Whether you're listening on radio, watching and listening on the video stream, we're glad that you're allowing us, I should say, to bring you tonight's game. This has been a fun one. Big play here. 4th down and 7 for the Trojans. Play clock down to 2. Trojans just do get the snap off. Locklear rolling to his left, steps up in the pocket, reverses course, in trouble, and brought down, sacked. And Portsmouth will turn it over on downs. Christian Carrasco with the sack for the West Senators. A big stop for West, and we saw the game pretty well end in that manner last Friday, Matt. Next to last play of the game, it was Tilton Rapp who sacked the Fairland quarterback to preserve the West win. And boy, this is a big play here for the Senators as the West offense will now retake the field with West up 12-6 at the 7:47 mark of the 4th quarter.
That one belongs to you.
You know, we talk about the defense bringing pressure for West, but the secondary has to be given a lot of credit there because Locklear had some time, just nobody could get open. And, Coach, you've referenced that several times here throughout the evening.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't know what their passing game is. I don't, but tell you what I have not seen. I haven't seen any crossing routes at all. I haven't seen anybody come across and run a drag route. And the toughest pass plays to defend is the drag from the backside and a crossing route. And if you get a defensive back stuck out there with like a deer in the headlights, somebody or even both are going to be open. But it almost looks like Portsmouth's guys are running to a spot and they're turning around and stopping and waiting for the ball. And they're just not open.
Everything's a hitch.
Yeah, just about.
I mean, that's exactly what I've kind of seen from that. I don't get. That's like there's no continuous routes. It's like run to a spot and stop and wait.
Yes. Yes.
But, of course, the longer your receivers run, the more time your offensive line has to give your quarterback, too. Some of those drag routes take a lot of time to develop. It's 1st and 10 for the Senators, who called a timeout just prior to this drive starting. Bishop will take the handoff up the middle. He'll lumber his way out across the 35-yard line to near the 37. A good first down pickup of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. And I look to see the Senators milk the play clock down to at least 5, if not fewer seconds before each snap now, because the clock certainly an ally. Still a little too early to try to put this one on ice. It's not keep away time just yet, only up by 6. But West certainly doesn't need to be in a hurry. Ball right in the middle of the field. Twin receivers to the right. And whistle sound before the ball was snapped. This will be a false start on West. And, boy, that's a big penalty against the Senators. So both teams at times this evening have been their own worst enemy. This will back West up. It'll be 2nd down and 11, as the line of scrimmage now should be the 32? 2nd and 10, I guess.
I thought 31, but in between there.
7 minutes to play. A 12-6 West lead. 2 receivers to the right, 1 split out wide to the left. Braden Atkins goes in motion to the far side. High snap, ball on the ground, and it is picked up by the Trojans. Portsmouth's en route to the end zone. It's Dee Parker, and he is going to score a defensive touchdown. The Portsmouth Trojans defense makes it happen when the Portsmouth offensive unit could not, and we have ourselves a tie ball game with 6:44 to play.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. There was a miscue on the quarterback. Running back exchange was actually the slot receiver motioning to the far side. Ball was put on the ground, and Dee Parker was able to pick it up, break a tackle en route to the score. Coach?
You know, when you got a guy coming in motion, he's going as fast as the guy was. It's not an easy handoff.
It's not.
It's not.
For the lead now. Jacob Roth on to try the PAT. Snap is good. Spot is down. Kick is up. And the Portsmouth Trojans have retaken the lead at 13-12 with 6:44 to go. Changes happen quick, and the changes just happened on the scoreboard. Changes especially happen quick when you get your tires changed at Bob and Floyd's on Chillicothe Street in Portsmouth. We're back in 60 seconds.
The deals are hot at Valerie Ford. Over 100 vehicles in stock and ready to roll. Get lifetime powertrain coverage. Take advantage of low financing rates and no payments for 90 days. Why wait? All roads lead to Valerie Ford because you deserve the deal that goes the distance. But don't blink. These offers won't last. Now is the time. The car, the overage, the savings. It's all waiting for you at Valerie Ford in Waverly. Or visit online at ValerieFord.com.
Collier Home Medical is expanding to open a second office in Grayson, Kentucky. Collier is a local durable medical equipment company providing and offering free setup of home medical equipment. Collier tends to home oxygen, portable oxygen, hospital beds, wheelchairs, rollators, walkers, and more. Collier Home Medical, now with offices at 1661 State Route 522 Wheelersburg, as well as at 146 South Carroll Malone Boulevard, Grayson. Call Berg at 740-574-0327. Phone the Grayson office to make an appointment at 740-981-6343. Collier Home Medical. Paul's now.
The Portsmouth Trojans have moved ahead at West, 13-12 with 6:44 left to play, courtesy of a defensive touchdown that we'll talk more about here in just a moment. Roth with the ensuing kickoff, a high kick that will be fielded by Atkins at the 15-yard line. He starts up the middle of the field. Darts to the right, now cuts back upfield, takes the ball out across the 30 for a very solid return of 17 yards. This West drive will begin at the Senators' 32-yard line. The scoring recap is a service of Nancy Hawk at the Real Estate Gallery with locations in both Wheelersburg and Portsmouth. For all of your real estate needs, give Nancy a call at 740-574-9902 or log on to realestategallery.com. A defensive touchdown by PHS. Man, I think I can handle this one. Dee Parker picks up a fumble and returns it 26 yards for a score. Roth adds the point after, and the Trojans have a 13-12 lead.
Man, you handle that like a pro.
Here's a pitch to Bishop, right side. Bishop cuts it up, has some blockers in front of him, and he'll get out near the 40-yard line. It'll be 2nd down for the Senators. They will spot Bishop just shy of the 39. We'll give him 6 on that carry. 2nd down and 4, we will call it, as we come up on the 6-minute mark.
I got a feeling you're going to see a whole lot of that stud because he doesn't get tired. You noticed last week in the fourth quarter, he was just as tough in the fourth quarter. Little smaller version of Chase Highland.
Yeah, very much so. Over 100 yards already for Bishop. Carrasco's going to shift over to the left, and we've got encroachment on the. Oh, wait, he pointed the wrong direction at first, did the official. He originally signaled that was on West, and then he said it was on Portsmouth. So it will be encroachment on the Trojan defense, and that free 5 will give West first down. That moves the ball to the 44-yard line.
Bishop, 21 carries, 120 yards, 5.71 per carry.
It's a good stat line. Throughout most of the first half, he was averaging over 9 yards, almost 10 yards a carry. That's peeled back a little bit, but still a great night. Here's a pitch to Bishop, left side. Bishop cuts it back up, hit hard by Brooks in the backfield, and Bishop is going to get back to the line of scrimmage, but that is all. That is the second big hit we have seen from Trojan linebacker Trevin Brooks tonight. 5'11", 218 pounds. Nice player. Tough player, and you can tell.
Oh, he didn't make a lot of tackles last week. I didn't call his name, but Unioto had everybody off balance. But Brooks is as good a linebacker as I've seen.
Very solid.
12 tackles tonight.
Second down and 10 for the Senators, trailing by a point here at the Rock. High snap, Hall brings it down. This is a design quarterback run, and he'll try to find the edge, and he won't get much, maybe a yard, and that will be it. And now the Senators offense with a little pressure, faced with 3rd down and 9 with under 5 minutes to play. A few personnel changes for West as Miller and Schonkweiler will check out. Carrasco will enter the game, as will Tilton Rapp. Also checking out for the Senators is Micah Barnes, 5'9", 162-pound senior. He's played a lot tonight at a receiver. Hasn't had a ball thrown his way, but boy, he's been out there blocking and running his routes. 3rd down and 9. Ball in the left hash mark. Pistol formation. 2 receivers and a wing to the left. And it's a handoff to Bishop. Left side, nothing there. He is chopped down in the backfield. Pocius leading the way. D. Parker was over there as well, and it's 4th down and long for the Senators. West must punt.
Yeah, I think they have to, Chuck. That's too much to overcome. There's still 4 minutes to go in the ball game, and I'm looking for that TOL sign for them. I think they've got
one.
They've got one left.
That's it. That almost gives Coach Gilliland a reason to think about going for it, and the offense is staying out there, Coach.
You're exactly right.
With only one timeout, even if the West defense could force Portsmouth into a 3-and-out, there would not be a whole lot of time left.
I think Portsmouth will call timeout.
4th down and 12.
So
3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. They're going to play on. And a flag goes flying. Hall heaving one down the near sideline for Atkins. And it is caught at the 25-yard line. What a reception. But now we will check the penalty, and I believe it's coming back. That will negate a 34-yard pickup on 4th down and 12 if this penalty is indeed on the Senators, and it is. Nice throw by Hall. Great reception by Braden Atkins, who caught 2 TDs last week and had an interception in the win over Fairland. This would have been a ginormous play, but it will not hold up.
I don't understand why Portsmouth goes with a 1 high and straight man-to-man on a 4th down and 13. I think maybe they ought to let this guy catch that ball if he wants to catch it at 10 yards and tackle him.
Yep.
But when you're playing in a zone coverage, you sink as deep as the deepest guy. And the receivers from West, they just ran past that guy. It was a great catch and a great throw. They need to be in zone coverage here, but they're not.
This penalty pushes the ball back to the 36-yard line. 4th and 18. West will go for it again. Trips to the right. Hall throwing along the near sideline, and this one is incomplete. The Senators turn it over on downs, and the Portsmouth offense will retake the field, leading by 1 with 3:07 remaining. And again, the Senators can only stop the clock one time with 1 timeout left. Portsmouth's offensive stats, when we take a look at those at the conclusion of the game during the Mitford Telephone Company post-game report, will not wow you. But a defensive touchdown has made the difference. A 26-yard fumble recovery for a score by D. Parker tied the game at 12, and then the extra point by Jacob Roth gave Portsmouth the lead, all that occurring earlier in the 4th.
Portsmouth needs to... Wow. They're playing with fire here, Chuck, with timeout.
I formation. Two receivers to the left. The give goes to the deep back, Pocious. Searching for some room right tackle. Now cuts upfield, and he's going to grind out about 5. The last 3 or 4 yards of that 5-yard run, he was turned to a side just hopping. I really like how he's able to contort his body and fight for every single yard that he can get.
He's a big, strong kid.
Gain of 4 on that play. 2nd down and 6, we will call it. West not taking the timeout yet. Sometimes you see coaches take that lone timeout early on in a drive, and sometimes you see him hold it to the last possible moment. Different theories. I formation again. Pocious is a deep back, and Pocious again takes the handoff, spins away from the first would-be tackler, and gets to the 30-yard line. Gain of 2. It is going to be 3rd down and 4, and still West not burning that final timeout.
St. Kitts in there with Carson Carter.
Obviously 4-down territory for the Trojans here.
Yeah.
As PHS trying to play keep away. 1 first down for PHS, and that should do it. Yep. That's easier said than done, though. Still 4 yards away, and West still with that 1 timeout. Portsmouth will take the play clock all the way down. We're at 1:48 on the game clock, 9 on the play clock. And let's see if the Trojans snap the ball or call one of their 2 timeouts. Looks like they are going to snap it. Locklear under center. Gives to Pocious. Pocious straight ahead. Pops it. He's going to have the first down, and he'll be cut down at the 24-yard line by Schockweiler. But that could have been the game-preserving run by Pocious, who is a little slow to get up. He went down kind of awkwardly there. Schockweiler got him around the knee. Hopefully he's okay. And now West will burn its final timeout. But this is the final time that West can stop the clock, and Portsmouth basically just has to take 3 knees here, and that should be game, set, match. 13-12, timeout on the field. We'll step away as well. This is high school football on Mix 99.3.
Napa in Wheatersburg wishes the best to all local teams and proudly commends the hard work put forth by our local high school athletes. Halls Napa is Scioto County's oldest running, family-owned Napa Auto Parts store, and the folks at Halls appreciate all of their loyal customers. Halls Napa carries auto parts and fluids, Milwaukee power tools, wipers, batteries, jump boxes, and more. Visit Halls Napa Auto Parts at 11774 Gallia Pike Road in Wheatersburg, and be sure to check out Halls Napa on Facebook.
At People's Bank, our team of local, trust, and wealth management professionals can help you achieve your financial goals. We offer comprehensive services including investment management, retirement planning, estate planning, trust administration, and more. Our customized strategies are designed to grow and preserve your wealth while minimizing risk. Let People's Bank put our decades of expertise to work for you. Call me, Elise Dye, or one of our other trust and wealth management professionals today to schedule your free consultation. People's Bank, working together, building success.
93 seconds are all that remain here at the Rock, and the Portsmouth Trojans have the ball, a first down, and more importantly, a 1-point lead as they are up 13-12. West out of timeouts. It's 1st and 10 for the Trojans, and they will get in victory formation as Marquez Locklear just has to get the snap from center, drop to a knee a few times, and it should be game. There's the first time. West cannot stop the clock. And boy, what a night for the Portsmouth Trojans. It appears that they have found a way, and it was a defensive touchdown which tied the game at 12 earlier in the 4th, and then an extra point put PHS up 13-12. And so many people after last Thursday's 42-0 loss that Portsmouth suffered to Unioto were asking, is Unioto that good or is Portsmouth that down? Well, I think that might have been answered tonight. Unioto, without a doubt, is that good, but Portsmouth might not be as down as a lot of people thought.
Unioto's winning 45-0 tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Locklear milking that play clock down. He'll take the snap. He'll stand back a little bit, and now he will drop to a knee. And one more time is all that is required, and Portsmouth will have its first win of the season. The Trojans will improve to 1-1. West will fall to 1-1, and tonight actually marks the final time, at least for the foreseeable future, that these two rivals will meet as out-of-conference foes, because remember, next year PHS will be leaving the OVC and joining the SOC. Last snap taken, Locklear falls down, and the Portsmouth Trojan celebration can begin. PHS will win tonight at the Rock by the final score of 13-12. Back-to-back wins in this series for the Portsmouth Trojans for the first time in quite a few years. Coach Bruce Cobb hugging his players as he makes his way to the center of the field to begin his handshake line with the West Senators. It was not pretty throughout the game for PHS. Offensively, they had their moments, but it was the big defensive fumble recovery for a touchdown in the fourth quarter that made the difference. The Trojans pick up the 13-12 victory tonight. Stay with us. Post-game coverage is coming your way next. You've been listening to High School Football on Mix 99.3.
Monroe's Frame and Collision and now Wheel Alignment knows that good luck on the field can sometimes turn into bad luck in the parking lot. Well, if that happens to you, just know that Monroe's Frame and Collision is there from big bangs to little dings and have been doing it for 30 years. Monroe's commitment to you, the customer, is evident when you speak with any one of the Monroe's technicians or staff. Monroe's makes you feel as comfortable as possible and are always readily available and happy to answer any of all questions and your inquiries. Monroe's Frame Collision and now Wheel Alignment.
Tonight's game on Mix 99.3 is brought to you in part by these following sponsors: AJ's Auto Sales, Bell's Body Shop, and Coleman Sanitation Services. Be listening to high school sports all season long on Mix 99.3.
Hi, I'm Gary Duzan of Portsmouth Insurance, a TAH Benefits partner.
And I'm Jay Hazelbaker, president of TAH Benefits.
Portsmouth Insurance specializes in helping local business owners with their employee benefits.
We understand that operating a business can be stressful. Let us alleviate at least one of those worries for you. Portsmouth Insurance understands the health insurance marketplace, and our commitment to service and knowledge of both the personal and business insurance markets can give you peace of mind.
For assistance with all of your employee benefit needs, call us at Portsmouth Insurance, 740-353-4105.
The Carpenters Local Union 437 is actively seeking apprentices and journeyman carpenters. Your pay is based on your experience, but you'll start out earning a good living wage with health care and pension. The Carpenters Union takes an earn-as-you-learn approach to their apprenticeship, ensuring you earn a good living wage with benefits for your family right from the start. And every apprentice will graduate with an associate degree. To learn more about joining your local Carpenters Union, contact Trampus Puckett at Carpenters Local 437. Phone 740-354-7518. On the Esplanade Laser Center and Medical Spa in Portsmouth knows that looking better makes you feel better. On the Esplanade offers body contouring, numerous skin services such as microneedling and chemical pills, as well as Botox and Juvederm injections. Plus, On the Esplanade has Obagi skincare products, among others. Let On the Esplanade Laser Center and Medical Spa help you look your best. Visit On the Esplanade, 813 Gallia Street, Portsmouth, and follow On the Esplanade on Facebook. Visit your local groceries, the Minford IGA and Westside IGA, as well as Westside Hardware. At the Minford and Westside IGAs, you'll find full-service delis with fresh-cut Angus beef and daily lunch specials. The Westside IGA offers up an incredible 18-inch pizza special, which provides a 2-topping 18-inch pizza, a bag of chips, and a 2-liter, all for just $19.99. Right beside the Westside IGA is Westside Hardware. They've got all kinds of tools and fasteners, as well as an extensive amount of items pertaining to automotive, carpentry, plumbing, and heating and air. The Minford IGA, Westside IGA, and Westside Hardware open 7 days a week.
Hello, this is Megan Martin, Banking Center Manager at First State Bank. At First State Bank, we believe that when we build up our customers, our communities, and each other, we can make a lifelong difference. When you bank with us, you're supporting the local coffee shop down the street, a young couple's first home, and the community you live in. Stop in at our Portsmouth Banking Center or visit our website at fsb4me.com. That's FSB4me.com. First State Bank, built on belief. Member FDIC.
High school football on this Total Media Group station is presented by Portsmouth Block and Portsmouth Building Supply, People's Bank, the Real Estate Gallery, Conley Trucking and Conley River Terminal, the Scioto County Career Technical Center, Carpenters Local Union 437, the Glockner Family of Dealerships, Gamps John Deere and Convenience Store, SOMC, Portsmouth Insurance, Monroe's Frame and Collision, the McKinley Funeral Home, as well as Collier Companies.
A remodel can be exciting like a walk down the red carpet, or it can be exciting like a stroll over hot coals. If you're going to do a remodel, do it right. Consult with a Waypoint Living Spaces dealer designer. They will work with you to determine your style and deliver exactly what you had in mind. On time, on budget, easy.
Tri-State Kitchens at 8516 Ohio River Road, Wheelersburg is your local Waypoint dealer. Phone 740-574-2802. The Glockner family of dealerships offers the top brands: Chevrolet, GMC, Honda, Toyota, Ford, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram. Glockner has an amazing selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Ask about the Glockner Guarantee. 12-month, 12,000-mile new vehicle premier coverage and 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage included on qualifying used makes and models. Credit issues? No problem. Glockner Auto Credit will finance your future, not your past. Shop online at Glockner.com. At Glockner, we make it easy.
Why does a church exist? This is Pastor Ryan Brown for the Calvary Baptist Church, and I'd like to reveal to you that our church exists to bring people to Jesus Christ, to tell them of a Savior who loves them and gave his life for them on the cross at Calvary, conquered death, rose up from the grave, and made salvation possible for every person. If you have questions about this person named Jesus Christ, come see us. Visit becausefcalvary.com and be our guest at Calvary Baptist Church.
Another thrilling game at the Rock tonight. The Portsmouth Trojans roll into West Portsmouth and claim their first victory of the 2025 season, defeating the Senators 13-12. Welcome to the Minford Telephone Company postgame show. For over 100 years, the Minford Telephone Company has proudly served the area with its communications needs. Today, the Minford Telephone Company provides fiber fast internet, TV, and telephone service on the area's only locally owned fiber optic network. Call the Minford Telephone Company at 740-820-2151 and talk to a real, live, and local person, or visit their website at falcon1.net for more information. Fast, fiber, local. The way it should be. The Minford Telephone Company. Wow. Boy, that was a very interesting game. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of people out there who either were in attendance, watched this game on the Appalachian Marketing Media video stream, or perhaps just listened on Mix 99.3, and they're going to say this was an ugly game. But you know what? There's more facets to a football team than just offense. And sometimes I think a lot of people get caught up in saying, well, the offense didn't play well tonight. Well, maybe the offense didn't play well because the defense played really, really good. And this was not a big game as far as offensive stats are concerned for either squad, but there were some big defensive plays. There were some big fourth down stops, and there were some really ginormous hits in this contest. Coach, the defense did some good things for both of these teams tonight.
You know, you hit the nail on the head. A lot of times when the offense isn't doing good, maybe it's because the defense is over on the other side wearing them out. Mm-hmm. You know? People don't want to give that credit where credit is due. But, you know, these are two evenly matched teams, and I think number one thing we can take away from it, it was a pretty even ball game. It did go back and forth. And number two, Unioto's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely. Yeah, for people who saw that 42-0 score last week where Portsmouth suffered that week one loss, I think a lot of people might have been misled by that. Unioto is a D4 school, almost large enough to be Division III, and they're back-to-back Scioto Valley Conference champions. So don't put too much stock in that.
No.
Portsmouth is a whole lot better than what that score indicated, and the Trojans came out here and proved that tonight as they found a way scoring a fourth-quarter defensive touchdown to wind up getting the win.
They've changed their attack in 1 week again.
Yeah, they did.
They worked all year long on running that air raid offense where you have 4 pass routes and everybody runs the pass route and stops where they're at, and the quarterback says 1's not open, 2's not open, 3 is, bam, you throw it. They don't have the personnel to run that offense this year. So he got back to what those offensive linemen do best. That's lay their big bodies on the defense. You know, when Matt played for me back in 2002, we had a huge offensive line. Mm-hmm. You know, they were never going to be mistaken for NBA type guys.
No.
But by the time the game was over, they had worn everybody down to a frazzle. And that's what Portsmouth's line does best. They wear people down. But West kids, I tell you what, I've watched them 2 weeks in a row now, and I've been impressed 2 weeks in a row. they play hard, and that's all you can ask from your kids.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one for them to swallow, I have no doubt, because up 12-6 with the ball in the fourth quarter, things really look to be rolling in a positive direction, but when you put the ball on the ground, you always keep yourself open for a bad thing, and that's exactly what occurred, and D. Parker was there to pounce on the opportunity and take advantage of it and give that the Trojans the game-tying touchdown and then ultimately the extra point, which put PHS ahead 13-12, and that held up to be the final score. Getting back to Coach Cobb for a moment, you mentioned this, Coach Clifford, how the Trojans basically changed their offense. They were doing different things tonight than what they were trying to do against Unioto, and I've complimented him time and time again, deservedly so, because there has never been a coach that I have met that adjusts to his personnel as well and as drastically as what he does. You think back 7 years ago when he took the job, he had Talon Parker. The game plan was simple. Give the ball to Talon Parker. Then Drew Rowe came along. The game plan was simple. Let Drew Rowe run around and do his Johnny Manziel stuff and throw the ball, make plays with his legs. They had Tyler Duncan, who's a nice quarterback. They threw. A couple years ago, if you recall, J.T. Williams was going to be the starting quarterback, broke his hand, wrist, something, so his freshman brother, Carson Williams, still in the squad, he steps in and does a nice job, and I thought Coach Cobb played to his strengths. Last year you had J.T. Williams at quarterback, Chase Highland at running back, and he put those guys in positions to succeed.
Yes.
Last week, again, a completely different offensive game plan, trying all the swing passes and the spread. They got back to more of a running game. And again, while the stats don't pop off the page, they did have a kid, and Fernando Procius, go over 100 yards. And anytime you have a 100-yard rusher, you're obviously doing something pretty good.
Yeah, you know, Bruce is a brilliant guy. There's no question. Bruce is also stubborn as a mule. But he knows that what he saw offensively last week wasn't going to cut the mustard.
Yep.
And, you know, I send Bruce a good luck, as I do Ted and the rest of the coaches in there, a good luck wish every week. I always tell Bruce the same thing. Remember, don't put your kids in a position to fail. Put them in a position to be successful. And but Bruce knew as soon as that game was over last week, the wheels started turning. And he knew he had to make an adjustment. And when you've got a 200-pound tailback like Poaches that runs as hard as he does, he's got to carry the ball. I think now that they've established what they want to do, they can tweak it a little bit more. They got to get Cameron Williams involved in the game somehow, Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
He's too dynamic. He's proven that since he was a freshman, that he's just too dynamic a player not to touch the football. And, you know, one time I had a guy named Joseph Parker in our backfield. He wasn't bad.
Not too bad. No.
But his senior year, I also had a guy named Jeremiah Bowden.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had to find a way to get those guys both the football. So we got out of a tailback. Jojo was a prototype tailback. But we got out of that and went to a split back and a strong and weak backs, and we got Jeremiah involved. And then the very next year, we didn't have that guy. We had Jeremiah back. But then we put a guy by the name of Jeremy Mathis at fullback, and I'm quite sure he passed out a few headaches in his day. But, yeah, Bruce is, like you said, Bruce adapts to his personnel as well or better than anybody I've seen.
He does a great job. There is no doubt about it. His Trojans winners tonight, 13-12 at West. Let's take a timeout. When we return, we'll take a look at the final stats. This is the Medford Telephone Company postgame show on Mix 99.3.
The Scioto County Career Technical Center. Brody is a senior from South Webster High School who is on the baseball team. Brody, what do you like about the Scioto County CTC and your program?
I like the ability to be able to try to perfect welding and try to learn as much as possible before I go out and start working.
After school, Brody would like to one day own his own welding business. The Scioto County CTC, a proven past for building a better future.
Scioto County Career Technical Center.
Tonight's game on Mix 99.3 is brought to you in part by these following sponsors: AJ's Auto Sales, Bell's Body Shop, and Coleman Sanitation Services. Be listening to high school sports all season long on Mix 99.3.
Josie and Carly and all the gang at Conley Trucking and the Conley River Terminal wish the best to our local athletes. In business since 1975, Conley Trucking will do both commercial and residential work, hauling everything from gravel to grain. The next time you need fill dirt or limestone, contact Conley Trucking and the Conley River Terminal. Phone 740-776-7634. For a quote, email conleytrucking@frontier.com. And again, Josie and Carly wish all area athletes the best of luck.
Hi, I'm Nancy Hawk, the owner of Real Estate Gallery. I'm inviting you to contact any of our professional realtors for all of your real estate needs, or visit our website at realestategallery.com. Real Estate Gallery Incorporated, Portsmouth and Wheelersburg.
Real Estate Gallery, we'll be there every step of the way. Real Estate Gallery.
The McKinley Funeral Home has built a reputation for service over the years. Folks in this area know that the McKinley Funeral Home is a proud member of the Lucasville community. In your hour of need, you'll find them compassionate and caring, serving families in our area since 1937. That's the McKinley Funeral Home. Call them in your hour of need. The McKinley Funeral Home, Lucasville, since 1937.
When you're looking for great landscaping ideas, visit Portsmouth Block, 2700 Gallia Street, Portsmouth, where you'll find a full line of landscaping products such as decorative brick chips, landscaping block, brick pavers, retaining wall block, concrete landscaping edging, gravel, sand, and much more. Portsmouth Block sells to the public as well as to contractors. Create the fire pit, patio, wall, or water fountain you've dreamed of. Everything you need for the ultimate landscaping look is at Portsmouth Block, 2700 Gallia Street in Portsmouth.
High school football on this Total Media Group station is presented by Portsmouth Block and Portsmouth Building Supply, People's Bank, the Real Estate Gallery, Little's Septic Service, Little's Grease Trap Removal, Little's Excavating, and Mr. Rooter Plumbing, the Counseling Center, Clark's Pump and Shop, First State Bank, the Minford IGA, Westside IGA, and Westside Hardware, Appalachian Marketing Media, and Dyer Insurance.
KC Printing and Promotionals is teamed with Hometown Radio Sports to help you own some of your team's favorite moments.
What a throw! What a catch! Open for a three. Got it!
Most games heard on WNXT and WZZZ are recorded and archived and can be put onto a sports-friendly, state-of-the-art flash stick available for you to purchase. To inquire about purchasing a game heard on WNXT or WZZZ, call 740-353-1161.
Minford Telephone and TV. The local choice. The best choice. Your internet experts with fiber fast efficiency. Generations of exceptional service. Stay connected with a legacy. Online at falcon1.net. Minford Telephone and TV. The local choice. The best choice.
The Portsmouth Trojans defeat the West Senators tonight, 13-12. I'm Chuck Greenslade, along with Coach Kirk Clifford and Matt Payton. Let's check some other scores from other contests around the area. These games have gone final, and a game heard on Classic Rock 107.5 The Breeze. The Wheelersburg Pirates won their home opener tonight and improved to 2-0 with a 10-7 victory over Cincinnati McNicholas. The Valley Indians are 2-0 after a 47-0 win over Fayetteville Perry. The Notre Dame Titans knocked off Southeastern Ross 23-15. Fairland was a winner over Point Pleasant, West Virginia, 40-15. Jackson took down the Gallia Academy 49-3. South Point was victorious over Racine Southern 36-0. Albany Alexander shut out East 47-0. Colgrove was a 37-7 victor over Adena. Piketon prevailed over Wellston 50-8, and Zane Trace knocked off Waverly 49-13. These following scores are not final. Minford, last we heard, was leading Chesapeake 21-14. Northwest was up 40-18 over Greenfield McLean. Russell was leading at Greenup County 28-7. Boyd County was up on Rock Hill 34-14. Eastern Pike had a 34-28 edge over Huntington Ross, and Sims Valley was leading Meggs 40-36. Again, our final, the Portsmouth Trojans defeat the West Senators 13-12. Matt, let's take a look at the final stats from this contest.
Well, they say stats sometimes can be nice and sometimes they can be very ugly, and this is one of those just weird. They just blow my mind. First, we'll go with the West Senators. The Senators had 15 first downs on the evening, 11 rushing, 4 passing. They were 0 for 7 on third down conversions, and they were 1 of 2 on fourth down conversions. They finished with just 143 yards of offense, 10 yards passing, and 133 yards rushing. They had 8 penalties for 49 yards, and their time possession was 22 minutes and 43 seconds. Individual stats, Brody Hall, 2 of 7 passing for 10 yards. Gunnar Sonkweiler had 1 catch for 2. Braden Atkins had 1 catch for 8. Westlin Ratcliffe had 4 carries for 27 yards. Braden Atkins, 2 carries for -11. Brody Hall finished 7 carries, -2 yards. Bo Roten, 2 carries for 7 yards. And Anthony Bishop, 23 carries, 117 yards, 5 yards a carry, and 2 touchdowns. Now, let's take a look at the team stats for the victorious Portsmouth Trojans. The Trojans finished with 10 first downs, so 5 less than West. All 10 of theirs were on rushing first downs. They were 3 of 10 on third down conversions, 1 of 3 on fourth down conversions. Trojans only had 132 yards of offense, so definitely a defensive struggle, 143 to 132. Portsmouth had 1 yard passing, 1. They had 131 yards on the ground. 16 penalties for Portsmouth tonight, 122 yards. So 132 yards of total offense, 122 yards of penalties.
Wow, 10 yards net.
10 yards net.
And we're talking about the team that won.
And the team that won.
Yeah.
And 25 minutes and 17 seconds time possession. Individual stats, Marquise Locklear, 4 of 6 passing for 1 yard. Cameron Williams, 1 for -1. Fernando Posies, 1 for -4. Dontavian Parker, 1 for 3. And Caleb Johnson, 1 for 3. Rushing the ball, Trevin Brooks, 1 carry for 0 yards. Marquise Locklear, 14 carries for 44 yards. Dontavian Parker, 2 carries for -4 yards. And Fernando Posies, 19 carries, 111 yards, and 1 touchdown. So only 1 offensive touchdown for the Trojans. The big stat, though, and here's the big one for the night. Let's talk about it, the turnovers.
The Turnover Report. It's a service of the Barrett Murphy Insurance Agency at 1031 Gallia Street in Portsmouth. Isn't it time you turned your insurance needs over to Barrett Murphy? Give Dan Cassidy a call at 353-3121.
There was 1 turnover in this game. Just
Kind of
one.
important, wasn't it?
Just one. But guess what? It just takes one sometimes. And it was a fumble recovered by D. Parker, returned 26 yards for a touchdown.
Wow. All these turnover reports that we do at halftime and prior, I should say at the conclusion of every game, they're all important, but I think tonight's might be the most significant that we've ever shared. Thank you for those stats, Matt. Let's take a look at our upcoming broadcast schedule, known as the Glockner Family of Dealerships Glance Toward the Future. We know that you sometimes can't make it out to these games, but just as Glockner makes the car buying process easy, the WNXT and WZZZ sports teams makes listening to high school sports easy. When buying a vehicle is in your future, visit the Glockner family of dealerships, which include Glockner Chevrolet GMC of Portsmouth, Glockner Honda Toyota in Portsmouth, Glockner Chevrolet GMC of Ironton, Glockner Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram with locations in both Portsmouth and Ashland, Glockner Ford of South Point, and Glockner Auto Credit with 6 locations throughout the tri-state area, including Portsmouth, South Point, Waverly, Jackson, Chillicothe, and Ashland. Shop your next vehicle online anytime by logging on to Glockner.com. As we look to week number 3 here on Mix 99.3, you'll hear the 2-0 Leadersburg Pirates play at the Jackson Ironmen. Here on, or I should say, on Classic Rock 107.5 The Breeze. You'll be able to tune in as the Valley Indians entertain Piketon. And hopefully it will be up and running by this time next week. Hopefully it's up and running tomorrow morning. AM 1260 and 95.7 FM. That's where you'll be able to tune in as the Portsmouth Trojans host the Greenup County Musketeers. That's what our Week 3 lineup consists of. Again, Wheelersburg at Jackson on Mix, Piketon at Valley on the Breeze, and Greenup County at Portsmouth on Fox Sportsmouth AM 1260 and 95.7 FM. Our pregame coverage at all 3 game sites will begin at 6:30, leading up to the 7 o'clock kickoffs. Looking at our video streaming for next week, the Greenup County at Portsmouth game will be video streamed by our friends at Cool TV. That is our Glockner family of dealerships. Glance toward the future. Don't forget to tune in to the Saturday Morning Sports Line tomorrow. That can be heard on WNXT2 using the Local Happenings app. And I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but Ohio State's got its first football game tomorrow, and they're saying it's a big deal as the top-ranked Texas Longhorns are rolling into Columbus. That will be a noon kickoff at the Horseshoe. We'll have that on either Classic Rock 107.5 The Breeze or on AM 1260 and 95.7 FM tomorrow with coverage starting at 10:30. Let's name our award winners. 13-12 again, the final score as Portsmouth gets the win at West. The Carpenters Local Union 437 congratulates the Portsmouth Trojans on constructing a great effort this evening with hard work, skill, and precision. A Carpenters Local Union 437 t-shirt will be presented to the Portsmouth Trojans so their coaches can determine a worthy recipient. Maybe it was a starter who shined, possibly a scout team player who helped prepare the varsity, or maybe a manager who provided some inspiration. It takes the whole team. To learn more about joining your local Carpenters Union, contact Trampus Puckett at Carpenters Local 437 and construct a great life for you and your family. It's now time to name the Gamps John Deere Outstanding Run of the Game, with the winner receiving a certificate for a t-shirt from Gamps John Deere on Route 140 in Slocum. Rarely does this go to a defensive player, but the run of the game tonight was certainly the 26-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown by D. Parker. And that wasn't just as simple as a scoop and score. He had to break a tackle or two at the very first en route to get in the end zone.
Great effort.
Certainly was. D. Parker is going to get that Gamps John Deere Outstanding Run of the Game t-shirt. Very worthy. Congratulations. The Portsmouth Block Big Block of the Game is brought to you by Portsmouth Block at 2700 Gallia Street and Portsmouth Building Supply at 1740 Gallia Street, both in Portsmouth. And we thought long and hard on this. There wasn't that one block that popped off the page. A lot of times to really get this award right, you need to watch the film kind of over and over to see what goes on in the trenches. But we're going to give this award tonight to Wes Bo Roten. He was the fullback for the West Senators this evening. Bishop rushed for over 100 yards. Bo Roten's blocking had a lot to do with that. He would get, stuffed in the center, kind of a stalemate with a blitzing linebacker, and that would allow Bishop to cut one way or the other and bounce it outside. So we're going to give this award to Roten. But, Matt, he had a good defensive game as well.
Yeah, finished with 10 tackles on the evening. Had a sack, too, as well, but he was very active, especially on the defensive end. But solid night for him. Just got off a little short tonight.
He's a good player.
Heck of a player.
Yes, he is. It's now time to name the Monroe's Framing Collision Big Collision of the Game. The winner receives a t-shirt designating him as the big hitter of this contest, courtesy of Kevin Monroe. Honorable mention, West Jeffrey Bishop had a big hit. Tilton Rapp had a big hit in this game. But there was one of those ooh and ah moments that took place with the tackle in the second half. And this award tonight is going to go to Portsmouth's Trevin Brooks.
12 tackles, 1 sack. And it almost reminded me off the program, whenever he gets the helmet.
There were snot bubbles, right? Snot bubbles.
He knocked the helmet off Jeffrey Bishop, and it just laid there. And I thought of the guy from the program grabbing the helmet like.
I wonder if there's an award for decapitation. That's probably what it was.
That was a great play by Brooks. And to Bishop's credit, he got right back up, and he wound up having a big hit a little bit later on the defensive side. Yeah.
Big hits all night.
All night long. Yeah. And
this game was not for the faint of heart.
It was tit for tat, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yep. Very, very good effort by all those players we just mentioned. If we had 3 Monroe shirts, we'd probably spread it out to all 3 of those guys. But tonight we're going to hook Trevin Brooks up with it. Congratulations. Next up, we have got the Roger and Snuffy Player of the Game, presented by Collier Companies in honor of longtime area sports broadcasters, the late Jim Snuffy Smith and the late Roger Gray, who is now an official West Hall of Famer, inducted into the Portsmouth West High School Hall of Fame tonight, class of 1962, for the nearly 40 years of service he provided our radio station. So congratulations again to Roger Gray's family. Hopefully they relish in that well-deserved award. Collier Companies is located on Collier Corner at 1661 State Route 522 in the Berg and consists of Collier Construction and Collier Leasing, as well as Collier Safety, Collier Medical, and Collier Home Medical Services. Besides presenting the Roger and Snuffy Player of the Game, Colliers will also provide a $50 gift card from the Scioto River to any defender who forces a safety. Now, we didn't have that tonight, but we've certainly got a Player of the Game, and this evening that award is going to go to Portsmouth running back Fernando Pocius. Matt, you mentioned his stat line a little earlier, 19 carries, 111 yards, and a touchdown. He also played really nice from that outside linebacker spot.
I had him for at least 4 tackles on the evening, but he was very active all over the field. Just a heck of a player, Coach.
Well, he ran tough because he had several plays. He was tackled behind the line of scrimmage and still managed to get over that 100-yard mark. But I'll tell you what, that was he's back next year for Portsmouth, as is Bishop for West.
Yep.
So that game next year will be those two guys going at each other.
And next year, remember, they'll be Southern Ohio Conference foes. So, yeah, that will certainly add to the storyline. No way they will meet again this year with Portsmouth being D5 and West D6. So this is a one-off. But, boy, what a game it was. And I really, really like both these teams. I've seen both of their games here to start the season. I really think West is going to build from this because if you recall last year, they started off 0-2 and then reeled off 7 straight wins en route to an 8-4 season. They went to the second round of the playoffs. Portsmouth also went 2 rounds deep into the playoffs. The Trojans, I think, still finding their way offensively, but they found a way to win, and that's the most important thing. Again, we talked earlier, everybody's got their own perception of what's ugly and what's pretty when watching a ball game, but I think most would agree they'll take an ugly win, I should say, over a pretty loss any day.
Oh, absolutely, and you're right. Portsmouth is still finding themselves offensively. They still need, I think, in my opinion, I think they still need to get a little misdirection in their ball game and get Cameron Williams involved in that misdirection. And I think if they're going to try to pass, I think they got the right idea with rolling out. But I think they're going to do some crossing routes. Get people, right now they're running to a spot and they're stopping, and it's like Matt said, when they stop, they're not going anywhere else. They're standing there.
And they ruin all their motion. Like there's no continued motion. So when they catch it, it's like stop completely.
Yeah.
You want to catch it, throw it while they're on the run.
Yeah. So I think Bruce still has to tweak a few things. You've got to remember, Portsmouth scored 1 touchdown in 2 games.
Yeah.
So their offenses, they haven't shined the light and found a way yet. I ain't stretch your imagination. Still got a ways to go on that.
Definitely some things to work upon as far as the X's and O's are concerned, but I think everybody will agree, whether you're a West Senator fan who's a staunch supporter of your team or whether you're a diehard Portsmouth Trojan fan, both these teams have to figure out a way to commit less penalties because they've both been penalized way too much. You kind of get a mulligan the first 2 weeks of the season, but now as we move toward week 3, it's time to clean it up. So hopefully both of them do.
Hey, the time for, that's okay, Sonny.
We're just getting started. When you get to week 3, you're getting close to halfway. It's time to fix it. Yep. And those are mental errors, and those are fixable mistakes. And I'm sure that both Coach Bruce Cobb of Portsmouth and Todd Gilliland of West will see that their teams commit less of those moving forward. Speaking of moving forward, the Portsmouth Trojans will return home next Friday for a showdown with the Greenup County Musketeers. Again, we'll have that on AM 1260 and 95.7 FM. Cool TV will video stream it. And then for the West Senators, they will host Hillsborough next week here at The Rock. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We appreciate all of you who listened on Mix 99.3 and watched on Appalachian Marketing Media's video stream. Thanks to our friends from Appalachian Marketing Media for getting this game on their airwaves tonight. 13-12, the final score. Portsmouth picks up the win at West for Coach Kirk Clifford and Coach Matt Payton.
Basketball.
Coach of the Notre Dame Lady Titans. Sure, everybody's a coach, but me. No, I'm not a coach. But for Matt and Coach Clifford, I'm Chuck Greenslate. Don't forget to tune in to the Sports Line tomorrow and hear from the other coaches around Scioto County. Everybody's a coach. Good night, everybody. Have a good one.
You've been listening to High School